Ladies and gents, welcome to the study group today. And those watching on YouTube, thank you for joining. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Snarky comments only, please. Today we're going to work on initially defending after we call a 3-bet and playing in position. And we'll go around the horn here. Okay, so this first one I do, so because it's easy, it's going to be a fold. We would probably continue with a spade, but we're not gonna be able to continue without a spade. So this is gonna fold, I think. Even though it's a small size. It's fold.
Yeah,
Let's
I
just
agree.
let's just confirm that we do continue with the spade. We may not here.
Probably still
That's it.
pretty indifferent with a spade even.
Yeah, we're indifferent. We begin to call sometimes, but we mostly fold. What if we have a well, we're not gonna have above the queen. We're doing it with all our under pairs. Let's just go look through the under pairs here. Look through the hand class. Yeah. So you get down to the fives. Now the fives, I think we're calling because we have two backdoors. We have the wheel and the spade. Does that make sense to you guys?
I can see that interaction there.
Yeah, so because you have interaction two ways, in two dimensions, if you would. The straight dimension and the flush dimension, making up new terms for poker as we go. We are going to call here.
And it actually likes a raise, putting pressure on their sixes through kings, actually, probably.
Yeah, that's probably it. Okay. First hand down. I gotta move some of these tools around. Skate, how are you, man?
Good. Just got back.
Skate when you're late makes me sad because you can't do the intro.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm down to do it whenever, whenever I'm early, which is not usual, not um
I'm
common.
just kidding. It's just you do give good intro, just so you know.
Thank you.
All right, so we got a list of folks here. Uh Mike, do you want to do one?
Yep. You have the list and you just go down the list.
Yeah, uh, that's fine. Good good fold on my part. All right, here you go, man.
Okay. All right. So we raised, get 3-bet. We called the king 10. He c bets B33. And this is actually kind of a fun spot here, I think, because this flop is really kind of good for us, not so great for them. This would be probably a pretty high check frequency for the small blind in their range. And the fact that they do, but our hand, gosh, this one's kind of hard for me because I'm almost tempted to check raise this. It's almost like we can't really call. We do have two overs, the back door. This one's pretty tough for me. I'm gonna choose fold here because I'm pretty sure fold is going to be a good option to take.
Yeah.
But I wonder if there's any raising and or calling.
So Mike, one thing to think about, the first thing you said when you said check raise, you're in position, and it's not just the terminology.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that wouldn't be a check raise. It would be a raise of the C bet.
So if you call, you're floating this flop. This is not a bad flop to float. When you said it's better for your range than his, I don't know that's true because you raised, so you have a raising range. It's certainly not good for his range, except for his pairs. So
Yeah, I'm choosing fold.
Yeah, this is an interesting spot. We'll look at it in the solver, but
keep call.
I would imagine some portion of our range is going to raise in position, even though that's more rare. Scotty's in on team call. Playing position changes everything, right? Because it gives you more of an opportunity to bluff if he slows down.
Yeah, if there's a mix here, it's going to be Oh, there's no folding at all.
Yeah,
This hand is just, so this
Interesting.
is gonna be, I think, what we're gonna see often here. This is just, if we were playing this out of position, I think we would have, this might fold into, this might fall into fold. But here, I think we call just because we've got, just the ability to bluff and we've got lots of ways to improve. One interesting thing to see here is if we call with king 10 of clubs. Let's look at that. I think if we had king 10 of clubs, I think that maybe we fold. I don't know.
Think so, right?
Yeah, king 10 of clubs is indifferent.
Yeah.
But we have a very small folding global percentage here.
Oh, I have a question. Why are we folding king queen suited more than king 10 suited? Is that like the interaction with the 10 straights and stuff?
Yeah, it's the interaction with the 6-8, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the interaction with the, it's a good question. I think it's the interaction with the.
Maybe it has something to do
potential
with maybe
Yeah, blocking.
possibility of bluffing better hands later on. I don't know. So that's my
Yeah.
guess.
Possibly, yeah.
the main thing is just imagine that the next card is a 7 or a 9. And he slows down, you can so comfortably bluff, and you're not bluffing just air, where it's with the
Yeah.
king.
That's a good way to think about it, Scotty.
That's
Yeah, I mean, a
it.
lot of this 100 big blind cash game, cash poker strat is around, do you have the potential to make a nutty hand?
Yeah.
A nutted combo. And even if that's only 3%, which is what the backdoor percentage is, that's enough to have you continue, especially in position here.
Yeah, because if you think about it, the cards that should come on the turn are going to be all mostly over 9, and then because there's only like deuce 3 4, there's only like a few combos of that and more combos of the others. So
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Mike, when we continue, give you a call here.
Okay. So we called it. Yeah, that was pretty close, I thought.
So here, this is where it gets interesting, right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
So well, go ahead first and I'll talk about.
Well, I mean, we can't fold, so I think this is just going to be a pure call.
So this is interesting because this is gonna leave a very uncomfortable SPR after we call here. Right, we're gonna have 40, 30, 60, we're gonna have 100 bigs in the middle and we're gonna have 50 behind. We're gonna have SPR 0.5. So this is an uncomfortable call. This is a call, this is a spot where welcome setups would shove. We always have to remember what our Montreal Dama would do in situations like this. But
Yeah, I would never shove here.
yeah, but
I mean, their range still contains their overpairs, but it still can contain the ace queen, ace king, ace jacks, which is a considerable portion, probably, even when you consider that they're doing it with their offsuit variety.
yeah, and also it's interesting, and also we now have no flush available here. So he's repping an overpair, right? He's repping like aces, kings, which are blocking, our queens, which certainly are in his range, but I don't think we can fold. I think we call here. No folding. Well, a little folding, but mostly not. But well, this is clearly a plus EV call. It's if you look at the EV here, I'll get my marker practicing. It's clearly a call. So we call. Okay, now I'm curious about something. Let's look at all our 10s.
yeah, guess in queen 10 and better, we could project. I don't know. Never mind.
Where are we? We're in position here. We're on the right. We are the cutoff. Yeah, we don't get to fold any. Okay.
Yep.
So we continue. Okay.
All right, that's a card they're going to check back even with their overpairs. This is just a check for me. You can't value bet like a block. I don't think you can even block. No, this is just check.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be check or shove, and the question for me would be like, what are you getting value from?
Yeah, I mean,
The-
you're not going to get called by nines. I highly doubt you're getting called by anything worse.
The only thing that would maybe call you that is queen ten suited or jack ten suited. But that's just, I don't know if that's enough because there's only two combos of those.
Then 9.
I don't know if, well, we'll look at three bet ranges. Yeah, nines is possible. That's totally right. Oh yeah, I think check back is, yeah, it wants to go for it. Solver is, well, your choice is fine. If I was as good a multitasker as Scotty and I was scoring, you would get a point here. But let's see what he's got. What's he playing? Yeah, you're not getting a call. And I'm glad whoever said that about the nines. It's a good point. Let's look at our ranges pre, which is kind of the level set where we are. So first thing to look at here is we open cutoff. We'll look at our range in a second. He three bets. What is in his three bet range? So this. So again, this is solver. He doesn't have a flatting range in NL50. Here, and you're right, sir. He certainly does have nines. Let's look at this range. So he's got 10% of hands. You know, obviously this is going to be a lot different than what humans are going to find. Humans aren't probably going to find under pairs as much. They're not going to find as many wheel bluffs here. But this is what his three bet range looks like. So once he three bets, I think, you know, one way to look at this also, guys, is to think about where our thresholds are in his range. So his thresholds are here.
The bottom opening, right?
Yeah, so we can think his threshold is offsuit jack. You know, and well, not including queen jack, obviously, but his offsuit jack is his threshold. And then where's his threshold on the suited side? It's going to be here. And of course, we have the ace wheels, which are different. But, you know, I think if we remember that this, essentially this Broadway block is going to be what it primarily is composed of his three bet range. That'll give us an indication of what we're working with, what we're playing against, what the villain in this game possesses. Now, when he three bets, what do we defend? And here's our calling range.
I'm guessing anything better than what you ideally better than suited tens, Broadway, and offsuit jacks.
Yeah, well,
I guess.
it's a little, we're tighter than that, I think. But we're you know, it's close because we're four betting a lot in this region, right? So the range difference really is that in this region we're four betting. So
Oh, okay.
Now, does he bet the turn for 31 with his nines? Instead of the thing you're targeting, how often does it take this line?
yeah, that's the next question. We can look at that. And yeah, so betting, I mean, so Scotty brings up a very good point. Now that we've, you know, glanced at his range, and I would encourage you to, if you're playing at home, to feel free to cheat and to bring up using your free account on G2 Wizard to bring up these three betting ranges so you can glance at them. I think that would be a good learning exercise. Yeah, so Scotty brings up a good point. Is the sizing he uses when he chooses to three bet nines out of position common? And we can look at that. But this is our three bet defense range, right? We're mixing down in this range with our speculative hands that can make straights, hands that can make sets, hands that can make flushes. The main component of our calling range here is going to be these suited broadways. This is really what we have. And so there you go. So now let's just look at Scotty's question, which is a good one. Here. Where is he pulling this B33 from? Now it's going to be
Yeah.
uncommon, and this is going to be this is going to be true in some of our solves because
That's what I was expecting to see. Just a big check frequency and very little small bets.
yeah, he doesn't use this very often. So, okay. So
Larry, can you click on the river at the bottom there? I just wanted to see what it liked to do with the king 10 on the so it did like a value bet.
it did like a value bet. Get me
And when
value
we do
from-
that, what does he call with?
Let's look. You'd like to shove, right? Look at the
Yeah.
shove. He doesn't have anything he calls with. But we profit from this 1.1%. Which is going to be Jack 10 and
Which we beat, and 6-5
two pair,
which
which
we
we
lose
and
to.
two pair, which we beat.
That's just solver bullshit.
Yeah, so let's clear this.
So I think there's one more good thing to do with this hand before we blow it away. And that is just look on the flop, give him a bet, not the bet side that he does rarely. But go through this one with his most common bet size on the flop.
All right.
Jam through.
I think his most common bet size is gonna be check, frankly.
Yeah, but when he bets, because still stay with the king 10. I think we do.
Rowdy.
We just fold the king 10 to a normal size bet. Okay, that's important.
Jackson, you wanna have a go?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
So here we go. You got tens, he bet small.
With the spade, I call.
It
All
is
right,
tight
fish.
AF here. It's close
Hmm.
though. It's a plus EV
Wait, what?
call.
I was expecting it to call as well.
I guess just murders his range.
we call a little bit, but not much. We call with the heart. If we have it's the heart spade, which call with. And I was curious about jacks. Jacks we call a little bit more, but we mostly fold. No, it's tough. It's tight in this situation.
The 6s, the 5s, the 4s all call more than these 10s.
Scotty, you wanna go?
I mean,
While you're with us, I assume you have to
yes,
part soon.
great. Thank you. Well, maybe the 6-5 sports that call more, it's because they folded pre. More of them, so we're getting the same percentage of them on the next trade. Is that nonsense? All right.
Alright, next hand. Got overpair.
Got
A
an
little more
overpair.
promising.
I believe there's gonna be some raising, but mostly call. We don't mind him having 6 outs.
Yeah, good call.
No fold, no fold. We can bet this for value happily. And we can bet. I don't want to bet 33, so let's go 50.
Okay, question for you guys. Can you see my entire screen or is there a big blank spot in the middle?
We can't see, we can see only the game. We only see the app. We don't see anything else.
So you see everything, nothing is out of the ordinary.
It's out of the-
Nope,
No,
everything
you
looks
can also
fine.
see like carrot corner Twitch thing.
Your
Okay.
browser tabs.
Oh, that's fine. It's just because I've got the, participants list open and I didn't know if it was blocking your screen, but good to know it does.
Are you cheating on poker coaching with carry corner?
Um,
Uh.
I am. I have a big crush on that very diminutive Scott. Okay, sorry. So we want to value bet here to what
Yeah.
size?
I think it's gonna bet 50 and 75. I'm gonna choose the 50. With my spade.
WP, sir, you're in there. You're
It's there.
taking the more aggressive line as any red liner should.
Now, the flush completer, I think, wants to drive it down, wants to drive the bet size down.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I should-
And the paired nature of the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's valid. I think those are some heuristics we've seen.
that goes-
Alright. Setup, do you want to take a go?
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
Alright, you've gotten bet small and you've got a gutter to go.
Pre-flop is he three bets me, in fact, and I call.
He three bet you and you pre-flop, he three bet, you called. And now he's C betting his three bet.
I'm going to raise 35%.
Get in, sir.
No. Good, not good.
But you're not,
answer.
you did not break the solver. Alright, now he calls you.
No,
Your
it's check.
SPR is important here. You have an SPR of 1.
Well, right there, I think I feel like shoving, but I think I check back.
Yeah, you check back. And he
And now he
Ye-
bets.
bets a very awkward size. He bets what, like a 60, it'd be 60. Now you have to choose if you want a hero.
He three bets me with ace nine, which maybe a bit in this range. Maybe he has
Yeah.
a lower pair.
He's
He's
got some
gonna have a lot
ace-9,
of miss, but
but there's only 2 combos of it.
could have a jack tens in this range.
Jack 10's in there.
I think it's too weak to call, but I feel, yeah, I think it's a fold.
Wants to hero. Good fold though. Those setups. Jackson went. Jeff, you want to give it a go? No worries. We will move on. Feel free to join later. Leanne, welcome back. You want to have a go?
Sure.
Okay. Top pair. He bet small into you.
Call.
Yeah, let's see. I think we call it here pure. All played.
I check.
Okay, yeah, check is fine. Now, I think he checks his hand a lot. By the way, guys, and I'm curious if you think this is the case. I think when this ace comes, he checks a lot. We'll look at solver. We'll look at it now, actually. Why not we do? But I think he checks a lot because the ace brings in some 2 pairs for his opponent, which is us in position. Ace 10 suited and not ace 8 suited, but ace 10 suited. Let's see if he checks this ace at what
I
frequency.
was thinking he would check his ace, but
Let's see what his, I'm curious
It'll
what his
be-
range wants to do.
I think it'll be very kicker driven.
With his ace X?
Yeah, that's my guess, is that his
Yeah.
ace 4, ace 5s are checking, his ace 10s, ace jacks are checking, and then maybe betting more with the ace kings, ace queens.
He has a good, let's look at top pair. Now his new top pair. Yeah, you're right, it's kicker driven. He has some really, He checks a lot, right? He checks more than he bets. When this ace comes in out of position, including with his best combos. Bets a lot with his top pair, flush draw to the nuts. And then once you get below ace nine, he's really checking. Okay, yeah, so he mixes with his top pair. All right, back
Yeah.
to Leanne's hand. Leanne, what you were checking, is that correct?
I checked.
Okay. Good
Okay,
choice.
fine.
And he puts in a blocker sizing on the flush
Hmm.
competing ace.
14. Okay, I'll call.
Yeah, just in case you guys didn't know, you can look at your pot odds here. Right next to the pot size, so you're giving 20% here.
That's what I was.
Hard to know what Sarver's gonna do here. I'm sometimes shocked by its answers, but yeah, well played. So that was
Okay.
Leanne. Skate. You ready to rock?
Yeah, I'm here. Hopefully you can see my camera. Can you see my view?
We see you. I don't know. I don't have that screen up. Maybe somebody else can. Cause I'm
Okay.
sharing, so,
Whatever, no worries. I don't think it'll show up in the replay, so
okay, here we go.
cool. I just have my head on. Okay, so let's see what happened here. We originally raised. Oh no, they 3-bet. Okay.
Yeah, so you're defending a 3-bet in position, the cutoff.
Here we do have a backdoor, but we don't have much going on. We have 2 unders to the queen. I'm leaning towards fold.
Skate, do you have 1 backdoor or 2 backdoors?
But we have a backdoor flush draw, and yeah, we can have a backdoor straight with any or backdoor gut shot with any ace, any king, any king.
Yeah,
Ace or king.
so,
Yep. 9. Yep.
so, I
True.
think we're gonna call here, but, your gut might be right oftentimes. Yeah,
Yeah.
we do fold. It's not enough. Your gut play is usually better than me trying to logic out, frankly, is what I've noticed.
Yeah, just because of the 2 unders to the queen, maybe if we had at least 1 over, then maybe we could call. Is my guess.
So we're calling king jack suited. So he bets here.
So the thing
That's,
there of the number of things you have to have, so in a single raised pot in position, 2 things is enough, you know, 2 back doors. Here we need at least 3 things. Like 2 back doors and overs.
Yeah. And you might be right. That's maybe a good way to look at it. So yours are pure, so the king jack, which is still 2 back doors, but a better backdoor is calling. That's one I was most interested in. What about like,
Yeah, 2 back
oh,
doors.
it's got an over as well. That's
Yeah,
important.
2 back doors and an over. There's your third.
Yeah.
Yep. Hmm.
Ace, jack. Mixing. Ace 10 is mixing. It's just not enough here. Just without an
You-
over, it's not enough.
Can you roll over 6-5 suited? And then roll over 8-9 suited? Like I'm curious why 6-5 suited and 9-8 suited are so different. And why 6-5 is showing as a better continue?
Yeah, the only pat answer I have, frankly, because I'm not sure, is the 6-5 is unblocking auto folds on future streets when we try to bluff them. That's the only. That's my theory, and frankly, I think it's a weak theory.
I have a weak theory to go with your weak theory.
Okay, go for it.
On the 6-5, when we pick up our open-ended straight draw on the turn, it's a 4 or an 8. He did not make a pair. On the 8-9, when we pick up our open-ended straight draw with the 10, he just made a pair.
And also maybe, on that line, if we make a pair here with a 9 or an 8, we're gonna be dominated. But if we pick up a pair in later streets with the 6 or 5, he doesn't have. Well, he has ace-5 suited, but other than that, our 6s are gonna be clean and our 5s are gonna be clean except for ace-5 suited. So that might be
Can
it,
you
is
tell
that our
me-
pair outs are cleaner.
Can
Anybody
you
else
show
want?
me what a ace five suited is doing? I'm curious as to why that would raise. I guess it makes sense as a bluff.
I would say maybe getting better ace X to fold.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it makes sense. Notice ace-5 without the back door is going crazy. But yeah, I'm always postulating, but I think that skates onto something. That we just, if it like goes bet call here. And then it goes check, check. We're gonna lose more often than we do up here. Our kicker's better. So, oh, skate found the fold. So the list I'm gonna work on is quite fluid here, but I am going to, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take one. So we fold. What's he bluff us with? Bluffs us with a better hand. I got an easy one. We don't get to continue anything here. What do we do with a 10-9 suited though? Do it this way.
Of hearts. Hmm?
That's not what I wanted to do.
Wondering.
Go away. That's not what I wanted to do. Oh, this will work. You guys can see my screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
10-9 suited. Yeah, we just call. We just don't ever get a very robust raising range imposition. It's just not necessary. I mean, if you aces do. Aces do less with the spade here. Aces are like a pure. But what about our sets here? Well, we don't have sets. Well, we do a little bit. Is this on? I'll watch this. Like we don't even raise our sets here that much. The very few times we have, but we're gonna see this over. I just don't think that generally we have an in-position raising range as much as we do out of position. We're not as motivated to generate folds in position. We have so much. We have the power of position strategically deep stacked, which allows us to have many more options, many more pieces in our arsenal in which to fight. Okay, so. All right, that was me. So in this list, Jackson, you wanna go?
Yeah.
All
Sorry.
right, that's all right. Here we
But
go.
Match as well. I just bought the set.
Oh, you're playing a game? You're in game
I'm
someplace?
playing right now. Yeah.
We
Oh,
can
and I just
skate-
bought trips too. Holy shit. Call.
Call.
I'm raising.
He checks to you.
Checks to me. Interesting. I guess I'm blocking his folds a little bit. The 10 should be better for me and I should be bluffing it. But I guess I check back.
Okay, I wonder, we'll check back. I'm curious. Yeah, nice play.
King.
You got two pair.
Yeah. I guess I just call it off.
Yep.
Let's take a bluff line here, just out of curiosity in the solver.
I
Nice
think you
play.
want to do more with like your under pairs, if I had to guess.
So turn check. Yeah, definitely that region is gonna have some pulse here.
Yeah.
We're just not getting here with them. On here.
Interesting.
But I was curious. I wanted to kind of bet. So when we get this back door, we're taking this line. So let's say we'd be 50 here. And he calls. Checks. Where are our bluffs now? So I was thinking specific. So our combo was ace queen, right? We just give up with ace queen. So where are
Yeah.
our, so yeah, we just don't continue. A little bit with the diamonds, we go for it. Where are our bluffs here? So this is the city graph.
Yeah,
I
you're
wanna
busted
look at our
gut
bluffs
shots.
here. I'm sorry, say it again.
You're busted gut shots.
Yeah, yeah, busted gutter. Busted gutter. Yeah, and our 9 highs. Yep. And
And I
then,
think he calls with in a second after we bet on the turn.
say it again, sorry.
Oh, can you go back to what he calls with in the small blind after we bet the turn?
Sure. Yeah, what's his calling range here? Yeah, let's just look through what our, bro, I just wanna look for
Yeah,
give
after
up,
you guys
sorry.
go.
So yeah, ace high is just like good enough to show down. And then our value threshold begins to come with the, like, we are checking back a lot with our boat tens over kings. We really need a king here to value bet, I think, no, yeah, well, it's got these in betweens, but what's interesting here is that tens over kings as opposed to kings over tens is just not good enough. Okay, so question was, we beat 50 here. What's his calling range? So he is. Let's look at the breakdown. It's very, so his worst calls are 9s. He's shoving it in our face with these, with ace king on turn. And the aces in his value region. And then he's gonna smooth play his trips. Smooth play is um his boat, his kings. But so his kings, his trips are smooth playing. He's shoving it in our face with his overpairs and his very best kings. His kind of worst calls are the 9s, the jacks. Jacks are mixing. Queens are just a pure call. Look at it here, kind of the same thing. Queens, jacks are there. Kings. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Yep. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Okay, so. Mike, you wanna go?
Yep. Oh, good. The worst underpair. That's yeah, that's just fold.
Got some very gangster raising.
Peaky raise there, yeah.
Look, it's minus EV to raise though.
Only with the 2s.
Reminds me of that one time some guy bluffed me like on the flop. You know, I bet small. He raised like 40. Show me the 2s for some reason.
Bastard.
I guess yeah, bastard. I guess it
This
can
is like
work.
1-2.
Yeah, 1-2.
So you bet like three big blinds, like you bet like $6, $7, and he said, "Here's try 40."
Yeah. I bet like something small, like 10 or like 15, and he's like, 40. You know, and then I recognize like I'm really good with faces. So next time he's in hand with me, you know, I'm gonna hawk, you know, keep a pretty good eye on him.
All he was thinking was he put you on ace king on that queen high board. That's all it was.
Yeah, true. So setups, you want to go?
Yes, sir.
You got jacks on a unpleasant board for your
Ugh.
combo.
Right there, don't have the nuts, really the nuts advantage. I think it's a fold. No, the call. I think it's too strong to fold. But when we
think-
raise this range, it too much this board, and that's the problem. I think I'm folding.
Yeah, you gotta fold here, I think. I think you're gonna call with the spade. We'll check. What do you do if you have a spade?
Oh, don't look yet, don't look yet. Oh, too late. I had the magical prediction, which is that that the spade matters, but it's spade heart that matters. That's the thing we learned last time.
Yeah,
So-
it's weird, the spade heart,
All
but
right.
not this time.
Yeah,
Not
this
this
is
time.
a robust thing that we've now seen.
Yeah. Now the spade heart's kind of close.
And
Weird
so
animal.
I
Okay,
think that-
so
I think there's a good simplification for us
go ahead.
on these borderline ones where the spade does it sometimes. Just fold all of them except the spade heart. Do the spade heart 100% and do the other 0% and simplify your life.
That sounds like a valid simplification. That works
Yeah.
for me.
Okay.
So Setevs went, Mike went. I think Jackson just went. This is getting random, sorry, guys. Leanne. Leanne, would you like the hot seat or should we go on to the next victim?
If Leanne doesn't jump in, I'll take this.
Why Scotty? You said that it's a gross fold.
Yeah, it is a gross fold. Yeah, good way to put it. Scotty, you wanna go?
Yep, I'll grab this one.
Okay, we're folding, and what did he bluff us with? Bluff me. You just better. Oh no, you got an interesting hand.
Okay, I am not folding. And I am in position and I am calling. There's gonna be some raising, but I am calling.
Yeah, so this is where it gets interesting, right? Because, so if there's any hand that you just your gut tells you want to raise, it's this one.
Yeah.
You've got 45% equity against his trip aces. With a flush draw to the nuts, maybe not with a paired board, but yeah, probably around 45%. Okay, so yeah, we do, if we're gonna raise, it's here. We just don't raise a lot. Let's see if this is the hand that you raise the most. So when we look at, we just don't raise a lot in position because we have because again, the power position, I think, allows us to have so many options later. We don't really need to use it to generate folds.
Yeah.
So
we raise our aces for ace queen and our ace jack for value. And we raise the queen jack, queen 10 suited of spades as our bluffs.
Yeah.
And then some nonsense deuces and threes and fours and fives that I can go the rest of my life without ever doing.
I kind of want to do it now so I can flash my bluff. Actually, I don't think it's good for a game. I would imagine live it's better to flash your value, not your bluffs. Okay, so yeah. So to balance our value here, to raise with our very best aces, because he's got a bunch of aces down here that have to call when we do that. The value here, we are balancing that with these combo draw raises in position.
But all
got
those
a que-
aces, right? Take off the raise thing. All those aces of ours also call. They all mix, right? We don't.
Yeah, they
pure-
all mix. Yeah, they mix. We can look at it this way real quick.
Yeah, right. Yeah, look at, yeah, I mean, they mostly call. So we don't even mostly raise our full house. So great.
Yeah.
I called
I
this
have a-
time. I get
I
there
got
on
a
the,
question. Sorry, but
oh, go see it.
no, you were done with the. I just had a question about this flop before we move on here.
Sure. Good mixes, Scott. Go ahead.
That how can I say? Against population, recreationals, recs. How do you think they're them, let's say they were in the spot and we are in the same spot in the cutoff, and they, or any other spot, and they 3-bet pre-flop and the board comes paired board.
Mhm.
How do you think they're going to proceed in this spot? Are they gonna check more when they have trips on the flop? Are they gonna mix sometimes, bet, and then check, or I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, because my thoughts are that they're gonna do a lot of checking and kind of trap.
I play a lot of live poker. I guess it's
Yeah.
just really kind of player dependent. Just looking at what they've done before
Mm.
and putting together like a general kind of thing. Do they play their hands very straightforwardly all the time? Do they get tricky? And that's just kind of how you would
True.
play those, I guess.
Yeah, because if they're wreck, it doesn't mean that they're bad or good. It doesn't also mean that they're, playing one way. So I try not to assume nowadays because that's gotten me into some pretty bad spots. So yeah.
Yeah, I think Jackson's got a good point here. I mean, so you talked about, having a very good memory for faces. And what I do is, I've just started playing live. I'm taking a lot of notes between hands. I have like a Google Docs open and I'm saying, I put a description of the person or a name if I know them, and I write down what I think some tendencies are. Jackson, is that something you do? Do you take notes or are you going on mind memory?
I guess, yeah. I play it kind of a pretty tight knit card room. It's like a charity casino, so there aren't that many people.
Okay.
So I can kind of remember the faces pretty well. It's mostly the same people.
Okay, yeah. So that's what I've noticed that when I'm playing live, and also I think this pool is not very good compared to online, is that there are there easy tendencies that are appearing.
No, I think it's good. I think you're taking it a step further because I just write down, hands that I played with the player, their description, if they're wearing a hat, whatever. But I'm, like you're taking it a step further in that you're writing notes as if you were playing online. That way you can remember more clearly what they're doing and what they're not doing.
Also, I'm old AF, so I need notes. Like for instance, one example is that there's this person that plays, and whenever they defend in big blind and they miss and they check, they look at the television when they miss. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, you can see about anything here in position against this person. The one thing I was curious about in this hand, because I think this is a very interesting combo to have here. Let's go through different. Well, the first thing I want to see, we bet, and we do have a raise here, right? So our raise is to 35. I wonder if his reaction is ever a shove back in our face. It might not be because, yeah, no, he doesn't do that. He just raises here. He doesn't take that. I'm just curious though. It's gonna break the solve though. Let's just watch. It's gonna give me a warning. So this never happens. Do we call off? And the answer is we call off, and let's see how we mix. So the EV with our combo must be pretty close. We're supposed to, this is a negative EV call. So the other thing I wanted to see was here. What is, so, okay, small blind here. Let's go through some different sizings and see what the combo calls. So he does use this sizing primarily, but if he does rarely go bet big here, are we just smooth calling with our king 10 of spades? Now we begin to want to play for stacks a little bit, and we do get some raises here, but mostly we're calling. Okay. It's king jack. What about king 10, which we had? King 10 is smooth calling. Whoops. Yeah, king 10 smooth call. Okay, that was, whose hand was that? Jackson's?
No.
Scotty.
Scotty's.
Yeah, so I'm not done. Yeah, I called.
Oh, you called, yeah, sorry.
Called. I am calling. I told
Nice
you.
turn, sir.
Getting on the turn.
Yeah.
And
He
I
checks.
And I am now betting small based on what we learned last time. 33.
What? So at 2E, 2E would be B60 here, right? Did I learn that accidentally?
Let's see. If we bet half pot, that's 20. That'll put in there'll be 80 in there and we'll have 60 left. So we need to be a little bit more than 20 for 2E, but I'm not aiming for 2E here.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah, you
being
got such a good hand. You don't need,
right.
2E doesn't
But I'm
have to be your only consideration here.
Yeah, but I'm also being driven by the thing that Mike pointed out last time, which is I'm ignoring the strength of my hand and saying flush completing board, pair on the board, bet small.
So you B30.
Are
Yeah, I'm going with that heuristic rather than anything else.
are you folding any rivers if he jams?
Yeah, I'm folding an ace. If he jams to if the river is an ace, I'm folding.
Okay,
Because then
yeah.
I'm beaten by pocket twos.
What about queen?
You shut your mouth. I'm
Scotty
calling.
doesn't like a queen, evidently.
I do not like queens. I do
You've
not.
had
Scott does
some
not like
issues with
queens or
queens in the
fives.
past. I think we found some queen baggage.
Yes, I do not like queens. I do not like fives.
So Scotty, you mean if you had called on the flop, say with a queen, and now this spade comes up, you're gonna bet small then?
No, I'm gonna check behind with a queen and call it marginally made. I'm gonna bet, I'm betting, I'll bet small with an ace. Here, I'll bet small with a flush. And my bluff, I guess, is the king, is the king of spades alone. I don't have the king of spades alone. I may not
Yeah,
have any bluffs here.
yeah, I wouldn't bet with a queen either. I think I misheard you. I think I thought you were saying, oh, flush comes, I'm betting small, but
Right, no, I meant when I bet here, I'm betting
Nice.
small. Based on the heuristic from the last hand. I'm not thinking about anything more detailed than that for now.
So Scotty,
Yeah.
Clearly a learned poker player is nailed this. Well played.
And you can see that the larger sizes are not wrong. The larger sizes
Yeah.
are
Yeah, I mean, so we see that often too, guys, when we have just this much equity.
that's a 5. I don't want to see a 5. I don't want a 5 and I want a queen. I don't like this card. So when I check here, I'm giving up value from a queen, from his queen, and I'm giving up value from his pocket kings. I block his pocket kings and I'm okay with giving up value with his queen. I check and I don't care what the solver does.
Solver
Yay.
loves your play.
Yep, I'm just giving up value with his pairs. There, fine. I might have gotten called by a queen. Fine.
Well, that's the thing here, Scotty, I think is that on this double pair board, after you bet small on turn,
Yeah.
what's gonna call you?
Yeah.
On a double paired board where it's a 3-bet pot.
Yeah.
If you bet, how do what calls?
Yeah.
I mean, humans might call with queen, but solver isn't.
Oh, you think so?
Is solver? Now I wanna know.
Jam it and see if I'm not even giving a value from queen, then I love the
No, I don't think they're calling a queen there ever.
All right.
I don't think they are either. So
I don't
river
think they'll
check.
call a queen to a 10% bet.
Alright, so.
Okay.
You're checking 60% of range here, what gets here.
Yeah.
Let's just look what your value threshold is. You're doing this weird thing with ace jack. You're just, you're just not, well, we can look at it. This is one of the reasons I like to break down.
I'm not betting.
We're
flush.
not even value betting with all our full houses. These ace jacks are checking back. And yeah, and I think it's because, now this is very interesting. This I think sometimes is rake driven, right? It's
Oh.
like you're only getting called by his other aces. And so it's just not worth it.
Okay.
That's my theory.
Right.
I don't know.
I'm betting ace jack there.
But the interesting thing here is we have no flushes that are value betting. We're gonna have bluffs, and our bluffs are coming from like the infamous twos that we've been discussing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just don't value bet here.
Yep.
It's kind of
Mostly
funny
have
because
full
at this
house.
point, you've probably already reached the max rake anyway.
Yeah, that's true. What's our pot now? So, yeah, that's a good point, Leanne. We probably have hit the cap. So that theory probably is not correct. Which is fine. Okay, so that was Scotty. Masterfully playing his flush despite the horrible run out. I'm kind of freestyle out of here, but I think setups is next.
Oh,
Adamo, you ready to
yeah,
go?
yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Adamo, you've got a pretty good hand here, and he bets small.
In fact, his range pose, he has the range advantage, but I'm not folding this. I'm just wondering if I have some raise there with the queen that blocked the flushes. I think you want to keep his bluff in.
I think generally Solver's gonna want to keep his bluffs in.
Yeah, but I feel like that. Yeah, I just call.
But you do get to raise. So so I feel guilty because I've tempered the Montreal Damo's natural inclination to raise. Would you, if you, do you want to change it? You want to change? You want to go to a raise
No,
here?
I'm gonna go
Okay.
with the call. I said go.
Well, now we know we like your call. Cause he now donks into you. Oh no, he see bets turn, sorry, I got confused. So he now,
He still have ace king and three
well, this is
combo
an
of ace
important time
king
to,
and
yeah,
three combo of I said three. It's the yeah three combo of kings so and three combo of seven with the play how he plays. So I still want to keep his bluff in. He's gonna have a ace with less kicker. He's not gonna call the. He's gonna call the river for sure. So I'm calling
so
again.
he could have the ace of diamonds, king, he could have the offsuit combos, like ace of diamonds, king of hearts, but you don't get to fold. There's no reason to raise because you're only folding out worse. You ever raise? You just really don't have raises.
And
Now
I'm
this
shoving.
is where it gets interesting, right?
Yeah, that's the moment I shove.
Yeah, so
But he has ace king. I really don't know when I see this in live. I will have shove, but at this moment, but feel like that he still have a lot of combo that will three barrel and have me beat.
my only question for you is, does he use this sizing with the ace of diamonds, jack, the ace of diamonds, 10?
Does he? Why don't he shove with ace king? No, this sizing make no sense. That is strong, so I think I'm beating him though. So I'm shoving right now.
Yeah, I think this is a shove here because you've got your one of your best ace X that you're calling a three bet with. Yeah, we're shoving pure. We want to get called by his ace 10, ace jack. All right, stacked him.
Darn, I just lost
I kind
money.
of like transported
calling.
myself to a game there and got excited. Sorry, Leanne?
I said, darn, I just lost money. I was only calling. Oh,
Yeah.
well.
Oh, yeah. So I think the thing to think about here is where we are in our range. We've got our very best ace X kicker, which is important, right? Especially on this run out where the kicker is going to matter. And so, and I mean, sometimes you're gonna run into his case, ace of diamonds, but king of hearts, for instance, but I don't think he uses that size because, well, let's find out. He may not even get to river with his ace king with that sizing pattern. You have any ace king that gets here? A little bit, and he is trap checking. He trap checks his ace king. You naughty, naughty solver.
That's
He's
gonna,
using this size pure with his ace jack.
He's
Okay.
trapping his queen too.
And so that was set abs. Mike, you want to go?
You bet.
Should apply that too.
Okie doke. Well,
So you
we are
defended your
not going
sliver
to
of a,
fold, so I think we're just gonna be calling here.
yeah, I think you just call
I'm
it.
not gonna raise, so we'll call. Yeah, this is what we're expecting. We still beat just quite a bit of his range. This probably starts to get to be indifferent, but I'm going to call here.
Yeah. So Mike, your hand is not as fun as set abs. But I think, yeah, we call. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I do here. What are you guys doing here? Scotty, what are you doing here?
I am looking here. I am folding.
Yeah, I don't know.
This reminds me exactly of a hand from yesterday where we were talking about the ace king, and I'm like, gosh, I call the flop and then fold the turn and lose some more, you know? But
Yeah, you're right, man. This is kind of a spot.
Yep.
I felt the sizing made
12%.
you fold.
Oh, well.
No, not
Mike,
really.
well played, sir. Mike's got
Come
a
on.
subscription to GTO Wizard.
Whoa.
You can tell. Excellent call, dude. You had it. You saw it. None of us, and no one else did. He blocker sizes you.
So now he actually, some of his bluffs get there, just a few. This is probably now a fold now, golly, because he still has a lot of those bluffs that he had before. However, his value. I
Folds is-
wonder if I wonder if solver's gonna mix here, like calling and folding, but certainly the population I'm folding in solver is probably gonna mix. So I need to roll like a 20. I need to roll like a 20 to call.
You got an 8.
No, I would call if you called.
Oh
the
yeah, I
turn.
do have an 8. There is the RNG up there.
We
which
don't
means
have an R.
six-
No, that's not the RNG. That's our win
Oh
streak.
yeah, yeah,
Win
that's
streak,
right.
yeah.
Streak.
The winning streak that you're about to ruin.
So
I don't know.
yeah,
I'm not
I
sure.
think I
Maybe.
think solver's gonna mix call fold, and I'm just gonna choose fold because I would do that in game too.
Also,
Yeah,
one thing
flip-
I want to mention to you guys watching when we're going through this. If you look at this, that doesn't really work. If you look at our pot odds number over and over again while we're playing this trainer, it's gonna help you just begin to intuitively know what your pot odds are because I mean, obviously humans aren't doing this, but solver is using these set bet sizes. And once you begin to correlate those to pot odds, you're just gonna know them intuitively. And then, when someone bets a B55, you could say, well, that's close to a B50, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, right here where they bet B36, you can say, okay, well, that correlates to like a 20% pot odds. So anyway, folding is, I think we fold. We hear
Your
of this.
call, goodness gracious.
We hear
Yep.
of this.
Fed abs got it.
Look at that. Okay, this is a more pleasant hand, and that was Mike Scotty.
Oh, it's me again? Yay.
And I'm just going along with the line here. I'm not
I
smart
like it.
enough to figure it out.
Okay, I don't see a compelling reason to raise, so I call. I have some raises, but I mostly call. Okay, good.
So my argument here as to why we do get raises in this rare position after I've professed or argued that we don't get a lot of raises in position is that this is just our very best. Like you can see it here, right? So if you look at this is our very best ace X with the backdoor flush.
Yeah.
And look at all this ace X he's probably has to call with. Worse. That's
Yeah.
I think these kicker hands are interesting, especially when you have this pair with your best. And,
This is my highest frequency hand to raise. If I
Yeah.
like, and I don't even raise it, and I still raise it less than 50%. So,
yeah, that's the way I think about it.
so this is an easy call.
Cause why, yeah, cause it's like, we're profiting from different parts of the range, right? So like, if we raise, yeah, we profit from his other ace X that has to call.
Right.
But we fold out all his bluffs.
All right, so this one's good. This is not a flush completing card. This is not a board pairing card, so this is not pushing to 33. This makes a straight, but he doesn't have 7-9 suited or 4-7 suited, therefore it is irrelevant. So I can look at this card as a blank. And I can go for sizing for a 2E, so I can go 50 or 75. And in reality, I want to go pure 2E, which is going to be 60. And in this case, I'm going to do the 75. So it's going to be 50 and 75, I'm going 75. All right.
Now you're in there.
I'm fine with that. Happy result. He calls.
Well, how's
Jam.
that for a Dream River?
Jam.
All in?
Jam, 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 jam.
Huh. Look
Does
at
he
that.
think- Do you think he calls, what do you think out of positions calling frequency is with this combo?
High in game. And the reason is that they look at it and go, I would have bet it, so he has a good queen, not the best queen. So he's gonna call me. When the ace comes, which makes some of my hands, he goes, so you're either bluffing on the turn and you got your ace, or you got neither of them, you're bluffing now. So I have to call you. I think that's a narrative thought that goes in people's heads.
So humans
Yeah.
call a lot here. Okay, I could see
I
that.
think so. I think they tank first.
Let's filter.
You know-
Second pair. Yeah,
Uh,
he is largely calling, he's largely heroing.
Yeah.
With his Queen X,
Yeah, and I
more
think
than I thought.
And I think in game, you get this little speech first. Ace 5, really? Really, ace 5? Fine, fine. If it's ace 5, it's ace 5, I call.
Jackson, you wanna go?
Yeah.
Alright. Ace Jack.
Uh, I don't like it, but I think you have to call to not overfold. Well, hold up. Yeah, I call.
Yeah, this
Might
feels
be
really
mis-
cuspy. I'm not sure. That's cuspy. Calling's fine. Most of folding, but calling's fine.
I would like
Okay.
to say that. I'd like to say.
So
that
this
my-
is really interesting because the 6 should be better for me, theoretically. Because I have more 6x in my 3-bet, or in my calling range versus his 3-bet. Compared to his 3-bets.
Yeah, but I think the issue with that is that you don't have very many 6x that you open in the first place, right?
Yeah. But I mean, we have more of like the 6-7, 5-6, probably not ace-6 suited. But I still think this is a fold no matter what, probably.
Yeah, I think there's a fold. King, queen.
Really? It goes for that sizing?
Fine.
But we're also in a small part of the tree because he doesn't bet the small size on the flop that often with his hand.
Yeah, speaking of groups, so we spent an hour. In this combo, do you guys wanna move to? Check raise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
We're fair, guys. I can't ask for more than that. Okay, so this is deep into a check raise pot. So we can do deep into a check raise pot or just play out of position in SRP. So this check raise pot is, I'll let you guys, this check raise pot is, show you here, can't I? We raise, called by button. Here. We check, they bet small. We raise. Check. Oh, no, this is just like, do we three bet? Let's see this one. Okay, so. Here we are, we get a small bet. I'll take the first one. We get it, and then we'll go from the top. Which means Jackson, you get to, Mike, you get to go again. So. What are we doing here? I think we just fold. I don't think we have enough. Do we have enough? No, I think we just. Mike, you're next.
Okay.
Does everybody understand the action here? And one life here show the
Yep.
pre-flop,
We
Free
raise,
flop.
we get called in position, we see a flop, we check, they bet, and it's us.
yeah, exactly. So what's our raising range here, for instance? So we're raising 17% of hands, right? We're getting to this flop a lot wider than we did in three bet pot. Now, this is gonna be, I think, this gives us an opportunity to talk about humans as well. This is the flatting range for button here. And this is what, 8% of hands. I think we can all agree that humans are gonna probably be maybe twice this with their flatting range, right? So we got like, if we look at the whole range is 15%. I would say that like humans is probably more like flatting 12%, free betting 4%. Humans are just not gonna have this many three bets against the UTG RFI. And, so. Humans are just not gonna have a range like the solver here, but it's playing solver, this is what we get, which is 8% hands.
Why would you call or raise with king six but fold king seven?
These questions are ones which I'm not sure of the answer of. The only answer I would have was postulating, was kind of guessing here. So your question was what?
No, it
I'm sorry.
wasn't at this spot. It was, I
The-
saw I saw pre-flop, I think.
It's this one, right?
Yeah, this spot right here.
So so this is coming before, and I think generally the answer that's given. I frankly question whether it's truthful or not, is that. 6x can clear the wheel. Right? If,
There we go. There
yeah,
we go. Yeah,
so we clear the wheel. And that gives us enough to call here.
there you go.
But take that with a grain of salt. That's a theory, I'm sticking with it. Okay, so. I folded, so Mike, you next.
Okay. Okay. This is just gonna be a fold for me. I'm just trying to think because this would be, yeah, we would check this flop a lot anyway, and they should bet this up quite frequently. Yeah, I'm just folding.
Just folding. Okay, we got MSI in the house as well. Let's see. Folding. Yeah,
So there is
you're cuspy and you're doing fine against population when they bet it, I think.
yeah, probably population bias makes me say just fold the shit out of it, but
Yeah. What do you bluff us with? He bluffs us with a pet. A Tauros. known in chat as MSI.
Yep.
Would you like to take one today, sir?
Yeah, let's go.
Alright, let's go with the Taurus.
Alright. Uh, I studied this actually today for MTTs, but different positions. We check call here. Oh no, not here, but this I don't know actually.
I think you call.
Okay.
Yeah, it's mixing though. I mean, it's really a good
Yeah.
sign for us when we're kind of not sure what to do, and it is actually. The solver doesn't know what to do either. Solver's mixing. You have so much backdoor action here that it makes sense to call.
What is how much of range is C betting on this board in general? Roughly.
How much are we C betting? After
Yeah.
we RFI, or
Yeah,
is
yeah,
he
yeah.
miss C betting?
Yeah, but you can just generally tell without.
So, we're here. We're checking 80% of the time on this texture.
Okay, okay. And we don't check receiver. I like we just check all his queen and stuff like that, right? Oh yeah, you can watch them.
Where are our check raises? So we do
Yeah,
have
yeah,
very
this
few check
exact.
raises here.
Yeah, what is this? I studied this today for MTTs. It was the same, like even on very very that board, like ace to nine with a flush draw, we still check raise only like very few percent.
Yeah, well, I mean, what are the textures that we think about with this board? Well, let's look at, okay, so we're asking a deep question, but we can dive in a little bit. What is, well, the first thing, texture is super dry, right? I mean, I can't imagine a dry, maybe ace nine. Six, yeah, you don't get much drier than this, maybe ace jack five. But this is really dry. This is as dry as it gets, I think. And then if we look, so question becomes, why do we not check raise? Well, maybe some answers are gonna be here. So
And
we really are this is kind of a jump ball. Well, we're UTG on this side. We do have a range advantage here. And then if we turn this to equity pump it, equity bucket simple. So we've got this, and we look at the linear equity graph. My gut answer is that so what are we check raising? Our check raising range is usually quite polar. It's the very top of our range. And then it's down here, bottom of our range, with speculative draws. And sometimes some really, really good draws. And I just did something interesting, but. Yeah. I think what happens maybe here is, and I'm guessing frankly, if anybody else has a better answer, but I think that we're essentially in this very top of the range, Arcturus. We're tied. At the very top of our ranges, we have, no one really has the nut advantage. And that probably is leading us to not want to check raise a lot. And that's my theory, and I'm sticking with it.
but like in free bet pots, we still raise ace queen, king queen. Like in over example, and this will be ace king, ace queen. And just smooth call like ace jack plus.
Yeah, but three bet pots are totally a different animal, right? Because we're dealing with totally different ranges.
Yeah.
So the solver is a range versus range SRP animal. That's all it knows. It doesn't know about anything else. It just knows range versus range. And the ranges in a three bet pot are going to be drastically different with a clear advantage to the three better, which is not as much the case in SRP. So you recalled, we get this blank three. I assume you're gonna check.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay, You get to the river queen high after check, check, turn.
Oh, we overbet now, given how strong we were. So 130 probably. A lot of 300% probably.
It thinks queen high is good enough. But do you
Or
generate a fold? You do.
7% overbet.
Generate a fold from second pair. Let's look at, this is a spot I like to look at the breakdown. Cause I thought we might have some 3 bets or some bust with this, queen high. But in Solverland, it thinks it's good enough to.
Also,
Oh, you know what? You found it. Was there combo? Yeah, you found it. It's just this combo doesn't want to do it. Any other combo, you bluff it. Doesn't want to block his backdoor spades. It didn't get there.
was
I
ace of
guess.
spades on the flop.
Ace of spade was ace of spades on the flop. Ace of
Oh,
spades
yeah,
is in the
okay.
flop. So that's, yeah, but I think frankly, I think your play is good. Let's look at this from an EV perspective and then we'll move on. So it's plus EV here, let's say. So, you know,
Oh.
if we overbet, it's better than checking dramatically. And then, yeah, it just doesn't like having the spades because it's blocking his busted draws, backdoor draws. But I like your play. So that was Arturos.
Could you
Um,
also tell why we see in position big blind is c betting small?
He's in button.
Yeah,
And on what street? The
on the
flop?
flop. We check because the sim I ran with much wider ranges, it will pot. It doesn't choose small sizings.
Are you looking at MTT or are you looking at?
Yeah,
Hash.
but it's mechanic will be similar. But like the difference is here that button flats much tighter. Maybe that's why it's small bets. Button.
Doesn't pick it
Right,
much.
yeah, you see it over bets.
Yeah.
So we agree. So this is non-existent. Okay, so why button over bets on the flop? I got the same on entities.
Why is button over bet?
I
So,
understand he's very polar, but that's mediocre explanation.
I mean, so the argument is that it's a very polar. It's a very polar strat. Why does he take a very polar strat on this texture?
In position, yeah, it makes sense actually. Maybe it's position driven because
Yeah.
the equities are similar.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think you've reached a part of the game tree, which I don't have a clear answer. Okay, so that was a Taurus. So. Skate, you wanna go? Skate is getting his lunch. Which is always exciting because he always eats something good, so, you know. we
Yeah,
can
let
hear
me
about
do
it.
water bonus here. Okay.
Skate's here.
Yeah.
Skate, are you ready? You want to take one?
Sure.
Okay, and here.
You're
Skate,
right.
you
I
got
was.
a very interesting hand.
You're right. I was getting my second fig bar. You know, the Nature's Bakery, the little pink red ones.
You've always got some fascinating meal choices. I like to check in on occasion, Skate, know what you're eating.
Yeah, I like the raspberry one. Anyways,
Noted. I'm going on Amazon. Oh, I'm going on Amazon right now.
yeah, it's really good. You know, a little snack, you know, for a quick snack. Here, you know, with the nut spade, I'm pretty sure we can do some raising due to the size, but I'm still gonna want to realize if we do raise, we're gonna want to go maybe you know, we can maybe fold out better ace high, so we can go maybe 100. If not, then I'm gonna do a lot of calling.
So you've got, yeah, you got a front door and a back door. And an over. Um. I'm gonna advocate for a raise here, but I'm gonna let you decide.
Mostly call.
Okay. And you're
Oh.
right. Your instinct is right as usual. I'm, I would have three bet this a lot. So we call. I think that's a pretty good turn.
Yep, pretty good. Here, I'm thinking mostly check, but now I'm thinking, can we bet? I mean, do we? Are we supposed to bet here sometimes?
Yeah, if you're asking me, I think probably the solver is gonna have a dunking frequency here, especially if this SPR. SPR is like 10. But, I generally don't, but I think, like, I don't have much of a donking range. Because I'm trying to simplify my game, but I think you definitely, solver's definitely gonna have some. Not
Yeah.
definitely, nothing is definite in this game.
Yeah.
But my gut is telling me that solver's gonna, because you know what it can do? It can cooler worse. I mean,
Yeah, I
so
agree.
in theory, what happens is that if, when a turn comes that shifts equity from in position to out of position for your range versus range, you get donks. You have lots of flush draws that you call that his small bet, like you did. And so this card is an equity shifting card, and that means that you're gonna have donks.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're, and I also agree with Mike. This card brings in some straights. The queen is good for them. So, yeah, I do believe we have donks, and I would also go, I would probably go also 50, like Mike said, if not check. But I think mostly check.
Yeah, we mix, we got donks here. I mean, this card shifts equity, so I'm gonna just make sure that I'm not FOS here, so. So let's just look at how, we're gonna look at one part. So I would encourage you guys to look at one part of this screen, which is equity, range equity versus range equity. We're on UTG, right? This board clearly is good for us. Where are we? Let's go here first. Gave up the game here. Okay, so on flop, we're jump ball on flop, range versus range. Let's see how this changes. When we check, jump ball, they bet. Jump, okay, now they bet. They're in position, their opponent and button, they have a range advantage. Now this turn comes, it dramatically shifts to us. Now we have so many flush draws that we are calling on flop. That range equity shifts to us, and so we all of a sudden get donks. We're donking 35% of the time, including some big bets. Now, the interesting thing to think about here is that we're not just dunking our flushes, right? I hate it when it does this. Sometimes it blanks out the rest of the screen, but so we'll go to breakdown. We're dunking across our entire range. These are going to be our dunks with our flops, with our nut flushes, like what we have now. But we also get, now that we are allowed to have dunks with the top of our range, we're also going to have donks down here with our, like a very good hand, I think, to hear if you're going to incorporate a donking range would be the ace of spades, right? Blocking his continues and you're drawing to the nuts, so.
True.
Yeah.
And
Does that
also-
make sense? Does anybody have any question about why we get donks here?
Yeah.
Did my explanation make sense?
Yeah, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Good. Also, like while we're here, because maybe I'm getting these big bets due to my like tendency rather to play at 200 plus. Also, like I don't know if you knew this, but if you press up or down on the arrows on the keyboard, you could change the stack size here.
Do you want to look at 200 bigs?
Sure.
No, it doesn't for me. I think it does it on MTT.
Huh,
It
okay, yeah.
changed the rake structure.
Okay, yeah, yeah, because I saw it on a stream the other day, so maybe it was MTT.
Yeah, for MTT it's a thing.
Yeah,
Mm.
MT, yeah, it changes the range structure or something else. Okay, but, yeah, checking's fine here. Check,
Yeah.
check. You've got the nuts, sir.
Yeah, we got to bet. How much? You know, the SPR is really low. I don't want to bet too much where they are going to fold, or too small where I'm going to lose value. Anywhere between 132 and 302.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're gonna bet 130% or 300%, right?
Yeah, I think mostly 132 because like with the queen out there, the 10, you know, there's less, not, you know, the 9, okay, not 10, excuse me. You know, there's less of flushes there.
So, yeah, maybe the way to think of this is the only thing he's gonna call you with is a flush. It's very hard for him to call you with anything but a flush. Maybe sets call sometimes, but, and so you really hope he has the king of spades here now. Or the jack of spades, but. So I
Yeah,
think we do get big bets here. I think we're targeting a very small part of his range for value.
yeah, that's a better way to put it.
Also,
Uh,
does anybody, let's do a poll. Does anybody think that we trap check?
Nope.
Yeah, I think anytime you can value bet, you have the option to check raise.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have trap checks here too, but I think betting is fine. So you want to go 132, right?
mhm.
Yeah. This is like a situation which we see often where we have the app where equity is 100%. So we can do anything we want. And yeah, it's just like kind of at this point, solver's like, choose your own adventure, dude. You're profiting from every part of his range. What do we have? What was our combo? Ace 6. Yeah. So we're profiting from every part of his range. So
Could you show how many straight flushes he check on the turn button?
straight
How many he
flushes
checks
on.
jack 10? Oh, it's not a straight flush, sorry. On the turn it's not a straight. And what about if we lead on the turn? What sizings do we use on the river?
So if we lead here, if we donk turn. We're primarily using a small bet, which is I think what we see mostly.
Okay.
And then he calls.
No,
So,
you got it wrong there.
under
Check your action. Under the gun should bet 20.
Oops. Thanks. So yeah, so he here. Turn here. He calls. Let's look at the hand class. Well, straight flush is shoving. And flushes are mixing. So. I mean, you can go through, like, so let's do it this way. So we filtered for just our flushes here. Straights are never value betting, obviously. And we get some traps. We get some traps like ace 4, ace 3. I would imagine our traps come from ace 4, ace 3 because we're unblocking like what he has to value bet. But we also, yeah, like ace 10 is trapping, then we're mixing with ace 6, our combo. And then we B150. Our most common bet with our flush here is a B150. And we have different sizing. We didn't trainer because we took the donkey line. But mostly we're B150. And our straight flush is mostly shoving. Oh, no,
Yeah,
it's
if
small betting, B75. Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
Oh, I was gonna say, if the straight flush is shoving, we're unblocking all of his ace X flushes, his king X flushes. So that would make
Yeah, I
sense.
misspoke. Yeah, we're just B75. Does that answer your questions, Artoris?
Yeah, kind of.
Hey, next time
Oh,
you go to Louis' study session, tell him he should start showing range versus range of breakdown.
oh, during training?
Yeah, during his MTT training.
Okay.
He doesn't go beyond the the main scheme.
He doesn't usually want to spend time on it. He just like move very quickly.
Yeah, well, he's a superhero of training, so that's cool.
Yeah, here
Okay.
we like very casual piece here. Like it's
Yeah,
good.
he has a great session. Shout out to if anybody wants MTT training every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning at 9 a.m. Chicago time, Louis does a study group at MTT, and he's got some really smart people that show up to that group. So that was Artoris. Dean, welcome, dude. Dean is one of my oldest study partners going back to 1987. Dean, you want to take one? Feel free to do it in chat as well if you want. Whoops.
Dean says, sure.
Okay, cool. I got chat up now. All right, this one goes to Dean. Oh yeah, we've at 132. We're gonna see if yeah, you got it full. Okay, Dean. You do not get a very sexy hand, I'm afraid. Feel free to put it in chat or to talk, whatever you prefer.
A highly unusual check there, though, too, probably. Well, not really, I guess. Not really.
What? So you checked in UTG, out of position in this single raise pot, and yeah, you fold. Yeah, good call.
I was gonna say that seems like a pretty heavily bet flop. Like that's a
For out of position,
yeah. Well, yeah, that flop.
I don't know, man. Let's find out.
It's not. It's not range. It's not range, but it's. I'm guessing 80%,
Let's find out. Let's find out. I think that
maybe 60.
excuse me. I think that this is yeah, we're checking a lot.
Well, click on the end of the gun.
Oh, I'm not in the right place. Sorry. We're not checking a lot. You're right. I am wrong.
75%.
Small bets all over the place. Let's see what happens if you make this.
That'll make.
I think we're gonna bet more now. Yeah. Yeah, Mike, you nailed it. We are betting this spot a lot. Mike, speaking of Mike. You wanna take this one? Next one?
Are you sure it's my turn?
I don't know. I'm just going through the list that it shows in participants. So you're after Dean now.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I like I like a call here. No, I think I think this might mix call and fold, but let's call and see if we can continue.
You think we get any check raises?
I don't know. I might have some little bit of check raising in here, but
I'm itchy
I'm
to
not
check
doing
raise
it.
here because I kind of want this to, I don't know if it's gonna be, I could be totally blowing smoke up the trainers, you know what, but I wonder if this is kind of a cuspy hand with like fold check raise. I'm kind of going off on a limb here, but, do
But
you
I
say
choose
call,
call.
right?
Yep.
No, I'm full of it. We mostly fold.
Tiny bit of call, so we got to continue. We got a great turn. Now, ooh, this might, no, I don't think we dock here because it's still good for button. So I'm checking. So we do get to dock
So your
there.
instincts were right here, Mike. You do get a little donks. Okay. Jack high, check, check, turn.
Hmm.
Do we have a combo that can pull the
Um,
trigger?
yeah, we definitely do. I'm just curious about what bet size we should take to do it.
Now this is, yeah, this is where it gets interesting.
Because I think we might need. I mean, just a small bet is going to take care of a lot of his auto folds that he has, but I guess maybe we block some of those auto folds with our hand.
That's what I was thinking,
Um,
but we have jack high. It's like these very,
so
yeah,
I
I mean,
think
it gets
I'm gonna
complicated here.
eliminate the block bet, the post oak bluff, as they were called in the past. So I think the B60 is the way to go.
We were both,
Oh,
you
gotta
were in
go
the right
big.
space. I'm gonna change this because I think you're. Yeah. He chose not to go gangster with his under pair, which solver will do. So. Why don't we go for a couple more minutes? We'll take a break and then, like one, like, after that, we'll, spend the last hour on marked hands. That's not a good plan for everyone. I'm gonna go through this list and see. So Jeff, you're out there and I've skipped you or not had a chance to call on you. Jeff, would you like one? Jeff Cotts?
I haven't gone in a real long time either.
Okay. Well, Leanne, why don't you take this one?
Well, Jeff can go. He hasn't gone either.
He
Or
said
maybe
skip.
not though.
Jeff said skip me in chat.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I can't see chat. I don't, but thanks for letting me know, Mike. Okay, so Leanne,
I will call.
fine, mostly wants to give up, but I can see a call here.
Because I have those
Um,
there.
So question for the group. Here, if we have king, jack of spades, are we check raising or are we just calling?
Both mixing.
Mixing. And what size do we like? We like a raise to 10.
Can we please
Raise to
see
15. 6.
the
Go ahead.
queen X of spades? What we're doing there?
Sure. So queen, jack, spades. Ace, queen, spades. That's it, offsuit. Ace, queen, spades. Queen, 10 of spades. All mixing check raises. This is a really good check raise portion.
Even the jack ten of spades.
The question, the hand that I would have the most interest in is 10-9 of spades. 10-9 of spades is mixing. Let's look at check raise.
Interesting. I know that I was wrong, but I was thinking I like the fact that I had those hearts plus a couple of overs, although he already had check raised. I mean, he had already raised me pre-flop, right? In this scenario.
I think you're all right. I think you gotta, I mean, I think if you get a yellow, you could say, oh, well, solver never does that, but I think you're still within the range of what solver does.
Mm.
So it really loves, so that's a pair. Let's look at it this way. I'm now kind of fascinated on the check raises on this because let's look at this at hand class. So these are different hand classes here, which is a good tool to use when we're looking at this. Sets are like more than half check raising. Over pairs want protection. They're check raising a lot. Our top pairs, like our ace eight. Really likes to check raise. Especially combo draw with the ace eight. That's like, I think, in game, we should strive, I think frankly, to find as pure. Let's look at a different way. So very top sets. Over pairs. Ace eight, which I just spoke about. Okay, and then we can go through the whole line, but let's just go to our suicide bluff check raises. Queen, jack, suicide bluff. Queen, jack, two back doors. You find these in games you're playing on set EBS level. Okay, all right. So we call, which is fine. What would you like to do here? I mean, so
Oh,
you can
I'm
check,
checking it.
yeah.
I'm ready to check fold if he does something. I'm folding.
Sure, yeah, enough. So, let's make this the last one and then we'll take a break. So. Anybody volunteer to be the last victim? I think then we have to go to the Montreal Adamo. Setebs, you out there?
Yes, I'm here.
Setebs, last hand of the day.
Yes.
Do your magic. It's on you. Oh, by the way, he only had a set. Good fold, Leon. Okay, this is always an interesting spot. You got ace, king, and he is bet small.
But it's at least a call. Do we get a re-raise on this one? This range mostly hit my range, so yes, I'm gonna raise 50% this one.
Okay, so raise 50.
Yeah. Nope.
So this is how Michael Adamo gets rich. He finds the slivers.
Yeah, but it's yellow. It's not good.
Let's see, we
When
generate
it's
the
yellow.
fold. Oh, no. Don't generate the fold.
And now, when he's calling, he has a marginal end, mostly running spade, a queen, maybe a eight, and but anyway, I'll continue with a 75 bet right there.
So. Gangster 75. Do we get it? Now that is a way to end the session. You got to fold checks. That is, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause.
Setebs, I really want to see your red line, man.
Yeah, my red line is not good.
That is, I don't think I need to see the trainer again today. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Setebs in action. I think that Scott is going to turn this into a YouTube short. So guys, do you want to take a break? And then, everybody, if you have marked hands to share, please get them up and we'll take it from there. So you want to take about 5 minutes, guys?
Yes.
All right, talk to you in 5
Sounds good.
minutes. All right. Hey, guys. You guys there?
I mean,
Hey, so. Well, we could do some marked hands now. I know Mike always has hands. I always have hands. Skate, you got anything?
I won't speak for everyone.
I do not. I still need to upload some more.
No worries. Jeff?
No, I don't. I was just saying it speak for everybody. I was just telling you I was here.
Okay, cool. No worries. Alright, why don't I show a hand here? Unless Mike is back. Um. Okay, I'll show a hand. Uh. Your hands. Alright, can you guys see my screen?
I can see it.
Okay,
Yes.
cause now I'm gonna stop sharing it, so I can pick the right hand without giving away the river. This was an interesting one. Here we go. Alright, so six-handed. Open. And pure. Get a flat from a small blind. So my first thought here is that probably a more recreational player. Most people don't have the flat, the small blind, if they have spent some time studying. Get an interesting flop. Paired board on a 4. We check. Oh yeah, I remember this hand. This guy was aggro. He was kind of playing gangster style. So I bet small here. I think generally this is what we're gonna do here. Maybe on a paired board, generally we size down. This hand gets more interesting to you guys. We could put it in solver. But generally paired board we're gonna size down. And now it gets interesting. So we're never folding. Aggro player puts in the appropriately sized 3-bet. I just call here. Get a 4. And so now a double pair board, he checks. Now, in theory, he's supposed to check when he votes up here. Quite a bit. I don't know if I'm maybe applying too much of a theory. I think a lot of people will also trap check here when they actually have 100% equity. So I check back. We do not hit, but I've got an ace on a double pair board. He bets big. What are you guys doing here?
Just folding.
Yeah, we really don't have enough here, do we?
Bet is too big.
I'm gonna pull this up in solver because I'm interested if we get imposition raises with our combo to his, if we get to re-pop him in position here when he check raises, I'm gonna give him a button range. No, I can't because he's up. I'm gonna give him a big blind range, which I think is probably
I
his
missed,
flatting
hey,
range.
I missed the pre-flop action. What happened?
Sure. He flat small blind.
Okay. There's more flats there to an early position. I mean, if he's studied, like, but yeah, that's kind of rare.
Yeah. Check raise. Board double pairs. What are you doing here, Mike?
I would check back.
Is that what I did? and easy fold our
Yeah,
hero.
yeah, I think so. I think
Um,
well played, I think.
I'm curious, I'm gonna pass this on to you for the next hand after this, but I'm curious if we get to repop him.
So look at the
And I'm
small
not,
blind. Yeah, see, they have that range of calling. Like it's a bigger range when the raise is in early position. Small blind has more calls than typical.
yeah, good point. What's his calling range here? So this was kind of a aggro rec player, so I'm gonna give him the big blind range. So my first question is, yeah, we're just betting small and frequently.
Yep.
This is a small and frequent board. Across our entire range. Everything, I would imagine. Yeah, everything's betting. Ace, king, which we often see in solver is a check back, is the exception. But yeah, we're just checking, we're betting everything small and frequently here. So we do bet small, right? Sometimes I pick a bigger size, but no, choose this size. So my gut is telling me against kind of a field player that he might be saying to himself, that dude's never betting this size with jacks. He never has jacks here. I'm gonna pop him. And so, I mean, I think that this is very I'm making a player dependent read here. But I'm curious if solver ever makes bet.
I'm
He
gonna
does
say
get some check raises to 6 here. His
very
sizing was good though. His sizing was right. He's got the right 3-bet size here. What are we doing with all our flush draws? Filter,
yeah, hardly
flush
at
draw
all.
nuts, flush. Yeah, solver just doesn't like to take that line. We get it sometimes. What are we doing with our trips? We're just not doing it. I mean, so we see this over and over again. We just don't get in position raises that much. Bonds don't do it. Trips don't do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it with like. Mostly doing it with kind of this funky combo draw. No, just with our ace four. Ace four is doing it. It just really isn't a thing. But that's solver, right? Anybody ever taken a repop to like 15 here? Or is-
I wouldn't be.
Yeah, we just call and try to get there, don't we? Okay, so I'm gonna go to the next slide. So we always call, which is what I did. Whoops. Raise, call. Now, the next question is, do we check back turn? In Silverland? Double pairs of board, really bad tone. So my guy's telling me it's really bad turn. Look, he's checking tons on this double paired board. He's gonna check everything here, I think, across his entire range. He's got tons of checks with his houses. So call that big blind check. We get some healthy betting. We're small betting 45% of the time, and we are small betting 45% of the time with my combo. Are we? Is it my combo? No, it's not. Our combo is checking. Our front door is checking, and like our blocker. Like I think this is about blocking. Well, why would we want to block his auto folds? This just has less equity. We just don't want to get shoved over equity, maybe. But let's just look at our hand class. So a flush draw non-nuts is taking this. So these, like the king 9, king 8, king 7. So when you're with your king highs, you're taking this. With your queen highs, you're taking this and betting small. Trying to generate folds from his total air is trash. However, in Solverland, our ace highs got showdown. So we are checking it back. So I played this right in Solver. I don't know if I played it right against this opponent though. Check. Get some kind of innocuous river. Queen of hearts. Now he's supposed to wake up with all those flush draws. So he, it's like he was playing Solver. I'm sorry, with his houses. His houses are mostly betting a B75 with some traps. So we're gonna fall to this, obviously. Do we have a hero with that? No, we're just out. Call with our lesser flush draw, our lesser boat, but we're just out. Okay, I played it well in Solver, but I played it well in Solver against a borderline maniac, so I'm not sure if I played it well against this player. I think if I had an adjustment, it would be, I think my adjustment against this player type is to take the small bet on turn and go from there. Okay, I'm handing it back.
Yeah, I'd say well played.
Cheers, Mike. Appreciate that.
So little spoiler alert. Let's go to a different hand since we saw that one. Okay, I don't know this hand. It's just I just filtered for some marked hands that I had marked. So we'll see what happens as we go. So you open ace king, early position, get a flat from what's probably a wreck. A 3-bet squeeze from a player in the cutoff who's been pretty active, only 30 hands, but pretty active. It's a small 3-bet. And a flat from over here. Okay, so this is why we marked this. Okay. So it's back to us.
Anybody else? I clearly have an opinion. I have an opinion about everything, but does anybody else have an opinion before I speak up? All right, I think shove is in your game plan here. I think you got, so you're blocking this guy's traps. Is the cutoff. You don't want to take this multi-way. I think your size, let's think about sizing. So if you were to, this is like way out Solver. So if you were to 4-bet him, it would be like 20, 22. So I think your options are 30 or shove. And I think a shove is good here. I would go to 30 big blinds more with the suited combo. But with this combo, I think I like a shove.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think probably that's what I do. So this one actually isn't, I don't think is all that difficult, right? That seems pretty normal, pretty standard.
Yeah. Do we get the reveal?
Yeah, I think so. Let's see what they had.
So this is, yeah, so I kind of like his play, but I don't like his size. I think I like 11.
Yeah.
What size would you guys use in cutoff?
There I would use 10 or 11.
Yeah, I think I like 11. This is just too small. This is an unstudied player who doesn't know squeezing sizes and cash.
Yeah.
So this guy's got a very interesting 3-bet here. What about ace queen?
Well, ace queen should be 3-bet, obviously, in theory.
Yeah. I think if you're gonna play the ace queen there, you gotta 3-bet it.
Yeah.
And this is a very speculative overcall. So when you
Um,
get these overcalls, it's just, yeah.
So yeah, if the ace queen 3-bets here and then king jack suited 4-bets, I think ace king can fold.
I think against this player class, I think you're right. I think that their cold fours are going to be, are going to lack any, they're gonna lack a significant amount of bluffs.
So yeah, that one was pretty simple, I think, right?
Yeah. Interesting hand though, interesting spot.
Here's the next one, which again, I'm not sure what happens in the hand, but we'll find out. We get a flat on the button.
Always
and
coming
we don't-
7,
What's that?
always coming 7s, this old German. That's what like, I guess a long time ago, the Germans used to say when they were railing their friends at PokerStars events and EPTs.
Interesting. So we
Yeah,
go
never mind.
multi-way, multi-way to the flop. All right. So we get that flop. Check to us. I know theory, we're just probably checking a very like a lot, like maybe even range. So I do check and it checks through. Comes another ace.
I think your options are 5 big blinds, a check. And I would roll. I would roll and turn my 7s into a bluff, like probably 40% of the time. Anybody
Okay.
else have any thoughts here?
Well, I don't know if it's a bluff. I think I would bet as like some kind of protection against like Broadway cards or something.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's got some characteristics that it could be a bluff, and it could also be kind of that hybrid hand where you're betting with the best hand here often. I'm not sure what I do. I do bet. I go small.
I would go small with an ace and I would go bigger with the 7s.
And we get folds. So
Yeah, it worked. Yeah. Yeah, so obviously Leanne is spot on. I mean, we're now denying equity to the king jack, and so that's great. You guys want to see another one of mine? I'm gonna keep on going until someone tells me they've had enough in my hands. All right.
No, show us your play, Larry.
Say it again.
Just show us how you play.
Yeah, it's a good plan.
I don't have any marking anywhere, so
No worries. Are you playing more cash or MTTs these days, setups?
I'm really mixed 50-50.
Uh,
Because when it's late, I prefer to play cash. When I don't have much time, like a 4-hour session, but I'm gonna play some cash, and when I have like 8 hours and more, I'm gonna play some MTT.
if I recall, you play on GG.
Yeah, I play on many sites. GG, Poker Stars. I stopped playing ACR. I hate this site. Bet online, play 888 coin poker, and
Yeah, so you're in a ring fenced area, right? So like the PokerStars players and the GG players are only from Quebec.
yeah, but it's because it's here in America. That's the only place you can play.
Yeah, so that's what I would do. So if I was in a ring fenced city or ring fenced area, I would play that because you're not playing you know, you have less competition. But next
Yeah, but
Tuesday setups, if you want to bring hands, feel free. We'd love to see them.
yeah, I'm gonna bring some.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I got a hand. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
This is a fun hand. So, first question. We get this oversized RFI. Does this expand or contract our 3-bet range?
Contract, or no, your 3-bet range. I don't know. Big in
I think you
position.
have to call.
Say it again. So it's setups, right? What did you say, setups?
Just say you have to call. You don't fall against small blind, even if it's a 4 big blind raise.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
Had
that hand,
much
I
of a
don't think we're
difference with
3-betting,
the
but
solver.
your range, do we want to 3-bet more often when it's a bigger size like that? I don't know. I mean, that hand, no, but
I think I can look at this. So I think that we get to expand. I'm curious what solver does, and I think I can look at it. This may be a grand fail, but let's just remember this number. I'm not very good at memory. Everybody remember we're raising 17% of hands here.
yeah. I tried this once. There are no opens that are bigger than 3.
And this
From
is
the
also,
small
there's no rake though. So we do get this now, Mike. We get a 4x RFI.
Yeah, but that's not from the small blind though.
Oh, good point. That's what you tried.
Yeah, I went through all of to see if, when the small blind raises to 4, they're all 3, like in all of the,
Oh, they didn't they didn't
all the
modify this.
sims are all 3x from
Okay,
the small blind.
so this goes into grand fail then. All right. No worries. I appreciate you telling me that. Cash. Classic. 2.5.
Now, when they are in position, like the button or cutoff, and they make a bigger raise, then those numbers do change. And
Yeah, but
they change to I don't know if it's an expansion, but it does get more frequent.
we'll call it expansion then. I mean, if it's a higher global 3-bet relative to 2.5, then it's definitely an expansion. So, okay, well, let's just look at it this way then. So he raises, we're back to 2.5. So we're 17%. I think this goes up. And I think the answer is that maybe more here. Maybe more here. I mean, where this comes from is a super complex question, but because we have this, what's sometimes called a boomerang of 3-bets here, because we get all these blocker-based crappy 3-bets. And we just want to generate a fold, and then we get these. I think I'm gonna expand a little bit. There's just more dead money out there. But let's see what happens in this hand. So he raises to 4, and then we've got 2s. And of course we're calling because if he's linear in this, I don't remember this particular player. If he's linear in this, increasing his 4-bet, 3-bet size, I'm sorry, his RFI size and small blind, we're gonna make a lot of money. So we get the dream flop. I mean, I can't imagine a more dreamier flop for 2s. The rainbow, jack high. This is like awesome. And so he's gonna continue to put the pressure on, which is great. Is anybody raising a position here?
Nope, not to that size.
Yeah. 8. Great turn. I mean, could have been the 8 of clubs, but great turn. He continues.
Thank
Is-
you.
Yes. No raising. Now, here comes the question. He checks. What size? SPR is 1.5. No, less than that, 1.3 or 1.4 or something.
I mean, you can, take the greedy line and jam, which is probably going to be the most profitable, I think.
Anybody
we've-
else doing anything
we've
but
seen
jamming
that
here?
time and time again. right? We see that time and time again that when you maximize your sizing as opposed to maximizing your frequency, it's more profitable. But I mean, this is just, yeah, I mean, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, so, I mean, but we have a good problem, don't we? So this is a good problem to have. So Dean's question was, can you raise at all on turn? Now that we've got some draws available, and you have good argument, right? I think Dean has a good, we'll put it in solver. I mean, like, so 9-10. Uh, maybe like even like queen 10. He's got diamonds. Yeah, I mean, I think let's put this in solver and see if we get raises. We'll have to put it in solver as though he RFI for 3, but we'll do it. If we're gonna have raises, it's gonna be on turn, Dean. I think you're right. But yeah, here clearly my only size is shove here. Sad face, he folds. Let's put this in solver and see if we're always calling this these. So we only begin to get 3 bets here at 8x. So we're always calling this. 2 of diamonds, 5 of hearts, jack of spades. And he just goes cray, right? I mean, he's using big sizing, which he's allowed to do. Not much, but across range, right? This is where it gets interesting. We can see he's just doing, this is a super complex strat, so we're not gonna get into it. This is why I don't spend actually, frankly, a lot of time studying blind versus blind, because I just think it's more effective to study at different spots, because it's a very, very complex strategy. It's the most complex. A blind versus blind SRP is the most complex strat in poker. What size did he use here?
Like 80%.
Yeah, so we're gonna give him like a B75.
75. Yeah, 75.
What are our sets doing? We're just gonna focus on, we
Look at your
do
deuces,
mix. We're never doing it with 5s because we hope he has a 5x. Well, we are doing it sometimes. But we are robustly raising in position. My call is fine, but I am not going to, I'm not gonna raise a lot here. But you could see why it wants to. It's unblocking. I mean, in theory, it's unblocking all its value. And we love that. But calling is fine. Now, the question I really had, which I think Dean has got a great question around. When he continues his aggression here, and he's going to continue his aggression, like his flush, let's see if his flush draws that do this get here. There's also a lot of bluffing that goes on blind versus blind in the wide range versus wide range. Let's filter him for. Let's just look at his flush draw and combo draw. So he is continuing aggression with these draws more than he is checking. And his size is, he didn't take, no, very few people find this oversized bet here. But that is what he's supposed to do. He found a B70, so like B75, B75. He gets to do that sometimes. This isn't gonna break the solve, but mostly he wants to overbet. When he takes this super aggro line saying, I've got jacks, man. I got 5s, dude. But he takes B75. Now do we get to, yeah, now we're supposed to shove in his face, period. So Dean, you're spot on. This is where we begin. We need to grow the pot. In solver, essentially, we're at an SPR of 3. We need to grow the pot here. So I think what I do here is I call too much. Like, I just don't want to generate folds, but we just need to do it. I think what the change I'm gonna try to make here is that I'm gonna roll for this, right? Like, so next time I'm in the spot, I'm gonna roll for it, and I'm gonna say, I'm gonna split it. I'm gonna flip a coin. Half the time I'm going to raise, and the other half I'm going to call. Now, what size is it like? So he bets 11, and it wants to essentially 2x that. It wants to click it on him. Does it? No, it wants to go bigger. No, that's frequency. It wants to raise to 30, wants to 3x this. No, what's it? Sorry, what do you? Yeah,
Yeah,
it wants to
yeah.
click it. It wants to click it. With twos. Yeah, I need to find this more. I'm missing this. However, we don't break solver if we call. Actually, calling is a big part of our strat here. So we call. Ace of clubs. He's hardly ever supposed to check. It's got lots of bluffs down here around 6-4, 7-6. Gets to use, well, like with his jacks, he gets to use a blocker sizing now. Over bets, he's using like B36. Oh no, he's using a B60 with his overcards, with his over pairs. But when he checks, our sets are going to stick it in his face. I would imagine. Our twos are mixing, do lots of stuff. But all in is our most prominent strat, it looks like. Okay. So really the question, I think what I'm learning from this is that I should have more in position raises on turn when he continues his aggression. And there's a, so I watch Carrot Corner a lot, and he has a theory called here, big hand versus big hand. This guy's declaring he's got a big hand and we got a big hand. So let's pile in the money. I mean, it kind of sucks. I mean, if he has queens and kings here on turn and we pile in the money, we're going to get it. This ace, if he has kings and queens, means he's going to fold when we shuffle. So
Yeah.
there is my dream set hand where I didn't get paid.
Anybody else out there have a hand?
Yeah, I got one if nobody else does.
Let's see it.
All right, hang on a sec. Let me see here. Let me share my screen here. Hold on, I want to make sure. Hang on, give me just a second. I want to make sure I don't share the wrong one here. All right, there we go. Okay, let's go with this one. All right. Can you guys see that all right?
Yeah.
All right, so this is on Poker Bros. 50 cents dollar. I know these guys fairly well. So yeah, 6-handed here. I open this. I think this is a smidge wide, but I feel like I have not been opening a little bit. I've been opening like my Queen X suited, my Jack X suited, my King X suited. It's like a little bit too snugly, which was probably not an issue, but these guys behind weren't 3-betting at all. So I open this. 3x sizing's pretty standard for this game. And we get 2 calls here. And we see this flop. These guys are both very frequent callers behind. Bojangles is the main villain here. A little bit tighter, probably. So I check. Like I was just gonna check out of position, multi-way, just with my entire range. So I checked. And we faced this half pot, stab. And this guy, I think, would certainly stab with basically any 9x hand. Maybe some. I actually think he's probably going to stab with a lot of 9x here. He might have some like 10s and jacks because he's pretty tight 3-better. But we block the jacks. So I don't know. What would people like to do here? I guess is the question.
Yeah, this is an awkward spot with the middle of the sandwich yet to act.
Yeah. This player right here, Manalishi, is like crazy high VPIP, like over 50%, I think.
Okay,
So
he's just got a lot of,
Yeah, there you go, 57.
okay.
So theory,
Who's-
like you said, theory says that you just check everything, right? Which is
Yep.
what you did. But what do you think about versus these opponents who are going to be calling pretty wide here? Actually, kind of going off of theory and exploitate c-betting on this board. Like this board is kind of like there's nothing there, like really, you know. Like you could c-bet here and probably get a lot of folds from a lot of better hands, like the ace X, king X, queen X, whatever stuff that they're holding. I was thinking that you could do that, but yeah, theory says to check everything. Now that you're here, yeah, probably just call, but I wonder if like a check raise is decent. If you think, I don't know if you think they're kind of pretty weak in terms of nitty.
Yeah. So yeah, I do check raise here. Like I've been playing since I know I'm checking range here in these spots, even in like a heads up pot, I check range right now out of position. And so I play super robust check raise strat. And this seemed like a really good example without any showdown value. Lots of cards that can help me here. You know, if I get a 7, a 10, a queen, a jack, any diamond are all going to be cards that help me out.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, you guys are deep too, so it's gonna put a ton of pressure on them.
Yeah, and I figure he's gonna let me know about the strength of his hand, I think, pretty quickly. Like if he has a set, and there's not a lot of 2-pair here. If he has a set, then he's gonna with the draw out here, I think he's gonna be pretty aggressive. Is my impression of him. But he is pretty snug. Like you can see, he's not a very overly aggressive player. But I did check raise here. I think slightly over 3x. I don't know if I should have gone maybe a little bit bigger, given how deep we are.
Yeah, I think so. I think deeper. I mean, bigger. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we get the fold and we get called. And then we get this turn, which is 7, offsuit 7, which is one of the cards that does help me. Gives me extra outs. Now I have a gutter as well as an overcard and the diamonds. So I am ready to continue here. So I'm going to bet here. I'll give that part away. Anybody want to talk about what sizing they think I should use before I show what sizing I used?
Yeah.
So what's your SPR here? Your SPR is like 4.
4 roughly, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm mainly focused on 100 bigs, so I'm not sure what a good sizing is here. My default, well, the default 100 bigs is a B75. However, how that changes at this SPR, I'm not sure. But I think if I was going to continue with this additional equity on turn, I would probably go around a B75. I would also take consideration he's a tight player. So what are our? So what are our, targets to fold out? So our targets to fold out would be a weaker 9x.
Mhm.
Like 9-8 of hearts, maybe. Like maybe 10-9. Which he might have, 10-9 suited, which he might have, but he's tight, so. It doesn't mean he just has sets, but it means that. It probably reduces the value of our flush draw. Cause he's gonna have better flush draws. But I think continuing is fine. Now I would use a P75.
I like pot. Like 50, like go
Mhm.
50.
So the one reason I didn't like, so I thought about pot in game. But the one reason I didn't was because this was a draw completing card. Like 5-6 now has made a straight.
That's a good
And
point.
I thought one of the thing, like generally when we see overbets, it's normally like a really clean turn. And this wasn't a super clean turn. So that's why I kind of like went against the pot or the overbet. Had this been like, I don't know. Had it been like the queen of hearts, I think I would have went bigger.
Yeah, good point. As deep as we are, the size is relative now. So maybe, in a 100 big blind pot, like we see that heuristic, right? We see these straight completers, these, 3-liners, 4-liners, whatever, that you're right, that it likes smaller sizings.
Mhm.
But now that we are almost 200 big blinds when we start, does that then kind of say, okay, well, we'll take these smaller bets and just, size up a little more, but pot might be too much. You're right.
So I end up going, I think 35 here, right? So it's like, I think it's pretty close to B75 here. And I get called. And then we get this river.
Interesting.
And so like I did, like when I check raised, I had some thought about, I could possibly run into like bigger flushes. And I'm not like, I think my turn bet eliminates a good amount of his flushes. But I was still like kind of worried when I saw this card. But my other thought was like, man, now if he has 9x, which is kind of what I presumed he had, like for the most part of his range was 9x hands, given the way this is played. Now he has trip nines. And I have just over a pot size bet left. So yeah, go ahead.
Scotty
I will,
has,
yeah.
Scotty has a good, heuristic here, our good perspective on this, which he asked, which I think makes sense. He would say, if you chose to block a bet here, if you chose to be 30 and in position shoved, would you fold?
Be pretty tough. It would be pretty tough. But I mean, I think maybe I should against this opponent. Yeah, this guy's got like tight numbers.
Yeah. So if you are going to fold this to a shove, if you bet $40, then I think the better play is to check call. Whereas if you would say, no, I'm not folding to this player class, then the answer is shove.
Let's do some hand reading, right? We know, okay, so 9x is here. Flush draws are here. You said 10s and jacks are here.
Yeah, I think that could be true.
How about queens?
I would say it's possible. At least, I mean, you can see. I mean, I only have 600 hands with him, but
And
Three bets
then
1%.
That's big. That's important.
And then could he have gotten here with like an under pair of like eights? Probably not, or maybe.
I think under pair is unlikely. I think under pair is unlikely.
So we lose to the better flush draws. We beat some flush draws.
But I wonder if like a lot of his
Yeah.
flush draws would be hinging around like the 9, like
Yeah,
9,
like
10.
Yeah, which so the 9 of diamonds is there, so it'd be 10. What are we talking? We're looking at 7, 8. You have the 8, so
I have the 8, yeah.
so not a ton there, right? Or maybe so the ace. So most of the flushes beat you.
Right. Yeah.
Sets. If he had sets, you thinking he's raising you on the flop after your 3-bet. So you're not seeing too many sets here. 2 pairs aren't here.
Which means full houses aren't here either.
So I think I don't know. I think your hand is good enough to jam and get called by worse.
Like I'm gonna presume that this guy has like ace 9, king 9, queen 9, jack 9. Maybe not jack 9, but like 9, 10, 8, 9 combos. Like, yeah. And so I end up jamming it because I just figured that there were a lot more 9x than there was flushes in this guy's hand. And he tanks for his whole time bank and spends a couple of time banks and ends up folding.
I think he had a 9.
No. Maybe aces, king. queen.
I think
Yeah,
is safe player calling trips. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was going to be really hard to fold, like, because this is the other side of this, Dean, is like, like the reason I thought about this hand a lot was because of some stuff that we've been talking about with like river bluffing sizes, and here I thought that he had a very strong hand, in trips, and I didn't really think he could fold trips, so I just went for everything.
What's your image in the group, you think? Because you're like you play within a pretty close pool, right?
I like if he's folding trips here, then yeah, then that lets you bluff. That's where, like, because I've been trying to work my bluff sizes so they're bigger, but like basically guys just snap off if they have, you know, a top pair hand for pot or less.
Mhm.
And I haven't really had the gumption to go over pot. And then I think once it goes over pot, people start like, well, that's a lot of money, you know? And I kind of wonder if that sort of happened here.
In other words, do you think maybe you could have a more profitable line would have been less than pot to get calls from trips? Do you think he is folding trips here?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think if he, I think if I had bet less, he would have called. Yes. But I
Because
don't
like the tanking, so he essentially used all his time bank on this hand,
Yeah.
right? So I think he's got. He might have had tens or jacks with a. Well, he can't have jacks with a. Might have had tens with a diamond. But his 3-bet too. The 3-bet frequency gives him queens. Sometimes. This guy's 18-2. Anyway, yeah, I think shove is fine. But maybe your question is around, do I want to try to extract value from a larger part of his range with a smaller size?
Yeah. I think the other side of it, as I put this hand in, that I wanted to review this hand because I wanted to, about the bet size that gets good hands to fair or 9x.
So,
And
Zoom
I
dropped
think had
out
I gone
there
pot,
for,
he would
for a
have
couple minutes.
been more likely to
Did-
call, but when you jam everything for overpot, I think it generates a lot of folds. And may have folded his entire range here.
Yeah. You dropped out for a little bit. I don't know if it did for anybody else, did for me though. Can
But no,
you, can you repeat what you said?
So no, I just thought like the reason I had it in my hands to review today was because about the bluff sizing and like like it seems like this, I'm pretty confident that he folded quite a good hand here
Mhm.
as the board got scary. And to get guys to fold good hands using that oversized bet here, I think I probably folded out his entire range.
Yeah. So what bluffs, what no equity hands do you get here with? Like, do you get here with like, sometimes you get here with maybe like Jack 10 of spades. That would be one that would. You might get here with no equity.
Yeah, Jack 10 of
And-
spades, yeah.
And that would be, yeah, and so then. Yeah, if he's folding out his entire range including trips here. Then Jack 10 of spades becomes very profitable. Bluff against a tight player. This guy's a nit. He's never three betting, he's not gambling, he's calling and seeing he wants to see a flop, and he's only doing that with a very. Small portion of his range.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, yeah, I think Jack 10 of spades becomes a profitable
So maybe this
three
is,
street.
maybe exploitatively, this should have been a smaller bet sizing.
Yeah,
I'm not-
so.
yeah.
Yeah, and also my check call idea maybe against this player class isn't good because. When this board has a flush completer, he's not gonna value bet his trips.
Yeah,
after
that,
you-
that was like my worst fear was I did not want to see this go check, check. Cause I think on reflection, I think he has very few flushes. I think it's very unlikely.
What would he do with? Let's say ace 10 of. Diamonds. In this line. Do you think?
The question is, would he have bet ace 10 of diamonds on the flop? Like, is this
Ah,
the
I
kind
see
of
your
guy
point.
that bets his draws on the flop?
Yeah. He's just
Seems
not gonna-
kind of dicey to me.
Yeah,
If he might bet some, but he might not bet others. I would certainly think that he's going to be checking some of his flush draws.
Yeah.
At a good clip. So,
I mean, there is certainly an argument that you do shove because. It's very hard for anybody to find. Also, I think there's a psychological aspect when you improve and you've got a 9x and you improve
curious about that a little bit and want to talk about the river spot a little bit with the oversized bet.
with the river, it's very hard to fold in position. For most people. Alright. Mike, you got a last one for us?
I do have one.
Okay,
You probably have one too, right?
I think, yeah, I think, but I'm,
Okay.
those, I don't have any more interesting ones.
So we get a 3x from under the gun, 8-handed. And we have queens in the big blind. This is always kind of a funny one. I think
Playing deep too,
What's that?
playing deeper.
Yeah, and we're deep. Yeah, 150, 160 big blinds deep. I'm pretty sure this is just like a call, like as opposed to a 3-bet a lot of the times. And that's what I did. Do we hate this?
Do we know anything about villain? How many hands do you have on him?
Just this.
He's pretty active. I mean, I think the VPIP number is good. Like, I think at this sample size, the VPIP number is the only one that we can really get anything from. So I would say he's loose on the looser side.
So yeah,
But you also get to see like I don't know. There is a disparity between how he's entering these pots. Like right away.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I think that this becomes a much stronger range. And so I think that makes the flat better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
yeah,
can
I
see it.
think you're right in terms of, especially when these aren't gonna have a lot of the bluff, opens, the loose opens, like the king X and the low ace X and that sort of thing. You're right. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna include a lot of that a lot of the time. So flats, okay. We get the innocuous 10-4 deuce. We'll be checking here. We get a pot size C bet. And I think we just call.
Yeah. Would you check raise at all with the queen of diamonds?
No, I don't think I would.
Not to that size.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we're still looking at aces and kings in his range, right? That's
Sure.
still certainly a possibility. So I don't know if check raising queens is suicide. I mean, yes, he can have more than just aces and kings, but pot size bet.
Well, I mean, the initial impression is that he really likes his hand, right? So yeah, aces and kings are definitely in there.
So we did just call, but I'm hearing like maybe we check raise there.
I would check raise more with the queen of diamonds.
Queen of diamonds, yeah, I hear you.
But I think against that sizing and the early position, your flat is good. Anybody else have any thoughts on that?
I agree that you don't want when the flush complete right now. You don't want to check raise if you don't have a diamond or if you don't have a set or something or two pair.
Well, yeah, we were
or
talking about on
complain.
flop, I think, set ends.
Now you okay on flop right there.
Yeah,
This board it no range. You should have overpair in your range, so you have the. I think it's the right play to have raise.
yeah. I would check raise at some frequency, but low with the diamond. Without the diamond to this pot size bet from early position, I think your call is what I would do too.
And we get a jack of diamonds flush completer. Now we're losing the aces, kings, jacks, and tens. And any flushes that he had, any flush draws that he had. Two pairs, probably not. And it's just those set of tens and jacks that are there. So I'm checking. And we get a half pot. So we kind of size down bet a little bit.
So I'm a proponent of sizing tells here. And I think that he is telegraphed that he doesn't love his hand as much as he did before.
But could he not love it as much with aces and kings either?
Yeah, true. Absolutely. But you know, and there's also he could just not want to generate folds with his nut flush. I mean, it always happens, but generally I think that this is more face up than it is deceptive. And so I think the value of his hand has gone down. I mean, in my head, you are ahead more than you're behind than if he used another pot size bet.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't see any reason to check raise here. I think I just call. Anybody else have any thoughts here? I'm curious. Anybody else have any thoughts about the sizing too?
I'm in agreement with Larry. I
Okay.
wouldn't love this spot, but yeah, we go pot, now we're at half pot. I'm probably gonna call again.
Yeah,
It's a call. You can
And
fold, but you can raise neither. You're gonna put more money and get called by better and fold make fold worse than what you have.
Yeah, and I'm not loving this already, right? If he did go pot, I would almost would anybody can start considering folding queens if this was another, say, B75 or pot?
Be hard for me to do that on turn, and I think the answer is, for me at least, I think I can't. I don't think I can do, like, if he went B100, like if he went pot. I mean, so I'm gonna guess that against this position, solver is gonna have, it's gonna be shook and it's gonna start folding without a diamond. But generally, I am not. And that's it. So that takes that, he has one combo of tens now. I think that's a good card.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that being not something that we're too worried about. Like,
Although he
doesn't-
would have paid, he would have maybe he plays like ace of 10 with the 10 of diamonds that way on turn. But okay. So,
but anyway, yeah. So, we don't want to, do we do any like maybe block betting now, or we wish check? I mean, I just checked, but is there any argument for anything else?
so the 10 is, the 10 is very much in your range. And so I would say block betting is quite intriguing and then fold to any raise. Kind of like a blocker here.
Yeah, that's what I
A
was
blocker
wondering.
donk, kind of like it.
Okay, but we checked. I was just wondering if anybody else had any thoughts on the
So
block.
one of the, I don't know who I was watching the other day, but they were talking about this idea of the blocker as a spot where like you're torn between whether you have value or a bluff catcher. And I feel like that might be the situation here. You know, maybe he has gotten him in this situation with like, got himself in here with like ace king, or he has like ace jack maybe, as hands that he's not really sure about here. And so you don't necessarily know where you stand, I guess. So I think the blocker might work here.
Yeah, okay.
Like
That
a
was kind of my
B10.
thought too. I chose the check, and then we face a B75.
Triple barrel, uncomfortable.
This one seems it's hard to fold the queen right there, but everything is in this range at this as it at this point. What
Well,
is
let's go through
calling-
the, oh, I interrupt you, said Abs. I'm sorry, finish.
what is calling on the flop. Everything, almost everything's beating you right now, except maybe a 6-5 that wouldn't make a straight. But if you call with his flush draw, he hits the turn. If he hits, he call you with the top pair and a middle kicker like 10-8 or 10-9. He's get there too. I think it's a fold on the river.
Well, let's go through the process here. So do you feel as though you are beating value or do you have a pure bluff catch?
This feels like a bluff catcher.
Yeah.
Value wise, I mean, what is it? Ace jack, king jack? It would be his value if he chose to take this line.
Yeah.
Aces and kings we lose to, so yeah. I mean, we're not only beating king jack, ace jack. Queen jack, we block queen jack pretty heavily.
So we've got a pure bluff catcher.
Unless we count king jack or ace jack.
Yeah. So the next question would be, do we beat their bluffs? Yes, we always beat their bluffs. That's no question. And then the next question is this line under or over bluffed in population? So, and we've got a very weird line in the sense that he went, what, a B7, he went pot, B50, B75. I don't know if that's, I mean, so the triple barrel generally I think is considered to be under bluffed. So that's pointing us towards a fold. Does anybody else have any opinions about whether this line in population is over or under bluffed? I think
I
generally
was
under.
thinking, yeah, Sutton asked what bluff do they have, and I was thinking it would be ace, queen, king, queen, queen, jack, if they thought it was a bluff, ace, king with a diamond.
Like,
Yeah.
so it's like offsuit. So it's hands that have like an ace of diamonds and then an offsuit card, which
Yeah.
like ace queen makes some sense there, but like we have two of the queens that one would need here. So it's like a limited number of combinations here, like the king, queen as well. Like, okay, we have two of the queens. Like, yeah, I don't know, like maybe, I mean, I'm sure there's some spazzing that happens, but I think you're probably better off just to fold, like to three streets of aggression, like kind of a weird turn size, but I don't think get too wrapped up in that.
Yeah, I would call it some percentage here. I would roll it. And I think I would go 70-30 probably here.
Mhm.
I would fold 70% of the time and call it 30.
And if we had queens with the queen of diamonds, does that just say just call all the time? Like, could you just simplify it and be like, all right, if I have queens with the queen of diamonds, we call, and if we have our combo or the other two combos or the other however many combos, we fold.
That's one way to simplify it, and I think that, for me, that makes sense. Queen of diamonds would be a very important card here. I would call more with the queen of diamonds.
So they could have all 16 combos of ace king, right? Well, no,
Yeah.
they would only have the ones with a diamond. Well, I suppose they could have all 16, but most likely the ones that contain a diamond would be in theirs, and that's a decent chunk of hands.
Yeah, 16. There are 16 combos of ace king available, right?
Yeah, total. Not all of
So
them have a diamond,
yeah. So well,
and one of them is the nuts.
one of them's the nuts. So we have 15 combos that are bluffs. Yeah, that's important too. Also your pot odds that you're being offered, I think are important. And the one question I would ask is, do I think that this is a bluff more than 30% of the time? Like, do I win half the time here? To go even to a more extreme example, our pot odds are being offered at 30%, but is this bluffed over half? Like,
If you
is this
think
a bluff
about
like over 40% of the time, over 50% of the time? Probably not. And so technically it has to be over 30% for it to be profitable to call. I think I call sometimes here. I'm calling like I said. I'm calling 30% of the time, folding 70. I am gonna look this up sometimes.
Yeah, I did. I looked it up. I called. But I was I was like, geez, this probably shouldn't be a call. And that's why I have it brought up here.
question for you,
Nice.
was a pure bluff. Wow. Nice job. But I don't think you will have continued to bluff. It's not to get value with the jacks on the river, and he has the perfect hand to check back when he got the jack. That's why I will have tend to have fold this in.
Yeah, you're right. So then it becomes a pure bluff catcher.
So let's go back to sizing tells, which it's my new obsession. I think I'm done with check raises. And it's so okay. So he's like, so sizing tell. I'm trying to generate a fold. So I'm gonna pot. All right, so we call. Uh-oh, but I turned equity. So I think there's a sizing tell on turn here. I think this down bet is important. Is he gonna take, so the very top of his range, which now shifts, very top of his range is a flush, but I don't think this is endemic of what population is going to use when they turn the nuts or turn the second nuts. Maybe they use this with their set of tens, which are clearly beating us. But I think that I think there's a sizing tell here. I think there's a sizing tell that says I'm not as much. Well, the first pop is like I love my hand, or it's a very polarizing size. I love my hand, or I really want to generate a fold. And then he down bets, and I think that's important.
Okay.
This is a
Yeah.
good hand though, Mike. I appreciate you bringing it to the group.
Yeah, you're right. I think the consensus was fold, right? And then, but like you said, roll it, like mix for it.
I think you got to mix. I think mixing is important. Well, so Carrot is not, Peter Clark is not a fan of mixing. He is not a fan of rolling. He says, you're a study player. That's why you're watching me, or that's why you paid for this class. Go with your gut, go with your intuition here. And what, honestly, what we're trying to work out is what is our, when we go over this hand history, we're trying to work out what is the way we get to an answer. But I still, I think you're really cuspy here. And so I think I like to roll on these cuspy spots. All right, we've been going for over 3 hours. I'll throw it out for another hand, a last hand. I will call it. Anybody has one more hand?
No, I don't have any yet.
Well, we want to see some Adamo magic set up, so feel free to bring hands next week. But obviously,
Yeah,
if you
I'll
ch-
try to bring some. I'm gonna make some grinding, mostly maybe Sunday night. And
so or anyways, not familiar with setups. It was you started, I don't know, how many years ago did you start coming to Sixes group? Probably 3 years ago,
1 year.
1 year.
Well,
And
I stopped because of my job, but
yeah, you're working nights, you said.
evening, so I start at midday, so it wasn't the best. And now my schedule is a bit random, so I can come when when I'm free.
Cool. Yeah, because I mean, so what I would call about setups to tout setups horn here is that he brought just a very innate red line instinct to the game. He really was focused on generating folds, and I was like, when I was watching, I was like, oh yeah, I remember being that player, and I've totally forgotten being that player because I've looked at too many solves. And it was a real eye-opener for me, and I think for a couple other people in that MTT group, because like, oh yes, generating folds is definitely a part of our game, and maybe that part of our game is effective across population, and we should remember it because a lot of times it works. A lot of times it really stings when you triple barrel bluff into the nuts, but it was a
Oh,
good
but
lesson.
you will always look like a fool when you're bluffing it up. But what I'm trying to work mostly is, like you said, by watching the solver, by watching two play, sixes play, I kind of become a bit tighter in my range, and I was losing a bit of this in stake and taking some pot that I would have taken by being aggressive. So I'm just trying to be more solver logic with my decision and rethinking about range and about move that people make and
Yeah,
the reason why they make it. And sometimes he's gonna check you twice and on 2 street, he check out, but most of the time, and now he's putting a big bet on river.
yeah.
Most likely facing a bit. It's an example. You're most likely facing. I'm not gonna triple barrel. It depends the player, but Before I was like, you're gonna fold.
Yeah, exactly. And that was refreshing for me to see. So I guess no one else has hands. Should we call it? All right, guys, I'm gonna call it.
I thank you very much, Larry, for,
no
for the
worries.
session.
We'll have the true alpha back next week, I think. I think Scotty comes back next week. No worries, Sutton. No worries, guys. Very productive 2 days. I appreciate you guys coming along for the ride, and we'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, thank you, and have a good grind.